hints and tips, or help with perfecting your jewellery designs, we're here to help. Head over to facebook.com/getstartedwithjm, where our talented in-house designers are happy to answer your jewellery making questions, offer inspiration, and get you started in your jewellery making journey. Jewellery Maker. Create, wear, share.
You can watch us every day 8 AM till 10 PM on Sky, Virgin and Freesat, and every day from 8 AM till 1 PM on Freeview.
Good evening, everyone. How the dickens are you? It's lovely to have your company. I just had to check to see which day of the week it was, because you know I'm just a little bit not sure at the moment. But it's beach day. Yeah. Not quite weather for the beach, unfortunately, is it? But never mind. We were. Well, let's start from the beginning first of all, and let's say good evening to the delectable, to the gorgeous, the belle of Brighton Beach. Here she is. It's Sara Elvin. Yay!
Hello.
Good evening, darling. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Nice to see your face. You're looking very, very fresh and summery and ready for not the kind of temperature we've got in here, unfortunately, but you know.
Yeah, I came back from my little holiday away and brought, so I don't know where that weather came from.
You brought the wind back with you, didn't you?
Well, I didn't. I was hopefully bringing the lovely warm weather from the south of France, but it didn't follow me, unfortunately.
No, it didn't. I tell you what, in my garden this morning, it was like a hurricane that was blowing through. I've got two acers, sort of, you know, my height acers sitting in big pots, and I went out this morning and they're all over. So I've had to put them in the shade. Not good at all. Anyway, yeah, so we were meant to save you a bit of a drive because we were meant to be doing this as an outside broadcast from Canvas Sands, weren't we? But alas, the weather. I know. We couldn't stand the cameras up, they kept falling over, so we had to come back here. Never mind though, there are worse places in the world, aren't there?
There certainly are.
It's very colourful, this studio tonight, isn't it? I'm loving it. It's only a matter of time before I'm wearing one of those, I'm telling you that now. There's plenty hanging around, isn't there? So we will. So what are you doing for us tonight then?
So we've got lots of seed bead designs tonight.
We have. We've got two fabulous kits. We've got our first one called Grecian Gateway, coming up at 7 o'clock, which is beautiful, which is lapis lazuli and beautiful seed beads in lots of golden metallic colours and silver and all sorts going on. That's happening at 7 o'clock. And then we have got, what's the second one called? I have so many notes here. What's the second kit? Moroccan Spice, that's it. Moroccan Spice is fantastic. The seed bead colours are brilliant. Let me show you a couple of star buys that are coming up in this hour. First of all, we got some, actually I'll just pop that straight onto the desk if that's all right with you. Gorgeous little ovals, not little at all actually. They are beautiful ovals of amber. In fact, I quite suspect that if Z is picking up that sapphire strand at the moment and seeing this out the corner of her eye, this will probably be being added. In fact, we're going to open it up to you right now to pre-order these fantastic ovals of gorgeous amber. Let me give you the code right now because it's available for pre-order. JQGY70. JQGY70. Any hint on the price, guy, yet on that one? Well, you have a look on the web and it'll all be there. It all will be revealed. There will be a price on there. Oh, I've lost one. Oh no, I've lost one. It's okay, we'll recover everything in just a moment. Right, now, because it is beach day, summer sizzlers, I've got an idea for you. It's a text in. And we want your best ideas here. I was thinking, right, change the name of a song or a film to make it appropriate to the beach. I've got a couple of examples for you. Well, of course, you could go naturally Sandy Shore, couldn't you? Sandy Shore by the beach. Very good. You could go film. Well, you could go songs. Show me the way to Llandudno, for instance, instead of Amarillo. 3 Men and a Starfish, I got here as a film name. TV series, The Man from Whitby, I got. All seaside-y kind of things. So any ideas you've got, here's what you do. You text in, JM Studio is your first word in your text, and you text us at 60777, standard text message rate, any that you think of. Song names, film names, change them to make them right for the beach and send them in. And we will love hearing from you between now and 10 o'clock tonight. What else have I got to tell you? I don't know. Should we dive in? Let's dive in, shall we? I've got a bit of a chain coming up for you at the end of this hour. This is gorgeous. This is an 18-inch sterling silver chain. It's open-ended as well. So on one end, it's got a beautiful bolt ring clasp. On the other end, you've got 2 ends to play with little connectors there. So you can be the master or mistress of your own design. It's a gorgeous box chain as well, so that's coming up towards the end of the hour. Right, let's get started then, shall we? Let's get ready to rumble. Let's start with number 7. These are gorgeous. Oh, let me tell you the cast and crew tonight, because Sarah, we can misbehave like you wouldn't believe tonight, because we've got, you know, when you had supply teachers at school.
Yes.
That's the situation we're in tonight.
Oh.
Because producer Phil is, of course, on the beach somewhere at the moment. So tonight we've got producer Guy, who is a bit like a supply teacher for us tonight. Hey Guy, there he is. We've got director Mike, who will keep us in order there on the right hand side. We'll try and keep order as always, but probably fail miserably, Mike, sorry. But you know what we're like. We've got lovely Leah behind camera too. And down the tunnel of love should be Michael, I think, who's looking after us tonight on the floor as well. There he is, doing a little bit of a spin. Now, if we get a swing on a song, by the way, in terms of the beach, we might get a couple of bars, you know, if we're lucky, if we ask nicely. Anyway, let's do a little bracelet connector right now for you. These are great. These are a great way of finishing off a bracelet, because they've got the little slider clasp inside them with the little silicone grommets. Oh, I love that word, grommet, don't you? You've got the little sterling silver beads there, so you can't go too far. On the inside, of course, you've got your little connectors there. So you're ready to start your fantastic, and it could be a seed bead creation, it could be, a beaded bracelet, it could be so many different things. In fact, it could be a nice way of finishing off a necklace if you wanted to. You know, that could be the final flourish for a necklace just sitting at the front, sort of down there, sort of lariat style, couldn't it?
Could
long
indeed.
length. That seems to be the thing at the moment, doesn't it? Long length.
That's it, and adjustability, just especially for holiday season, is great, because you know, you might only take a few pieces of jewellery with you on your holiday, so you want to make the most of them. So having them able to be sitting at different lengths on your neckline, or you might want to take some little interchangeable charms to put in the centre of that.
Definitely. How many pairs of glasses do you need tonight, by the way?
Lots.
You've got your seeing glasses, you've got your beach glasses, and a spare pair just in case.
A spare pair, just in case.
£12.95. Lovely having your company. Get involved with the show. Remember, it's your show. We are nothing without you. So drop us a little text message, even if you just want to say hello to lovely Sara, Elvin, or you want some advice on seed beading, or you want a sneaky peeky at what might be coming up later, or you're looking for something, text through, and Guy will see what we can do for you. We've got a huge selection of products tonight, actually, I have to say. Some really nice pieces, including some diamond-coloured spinel rondelles coming up later. We're going to do those as a little bit of an addition to Sarah's kit a little bit later on. We'll show it to you at the same time. It's really, really nice indeed. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. See, I told you I could talk a glass eye to sleep. There you go, it's gone. Let's do the silver one then, shall we? Because we do have a silver, and we also have a rose gold plated one, actually. So let's do the silver one. So it's the same pack drill, really, but in a different colour. This is, as we love, our unadulterated sterling silver. In fact, I think if my if my spider senses are in line, I think this is not only sterling silver, but I think it's been galvanized a little bit as well. It's been given a little bit of a galvanic coating to protect the silver. It's often what they do with these little lengths of popcorn chain, just to help with the slide, because of course this bead here allows you to slide the chains in and out. So if it is the end of a bracelet, it's the way of gathering in the end of that bracelet. Do you know what I mean? Can you see them going in? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Oh, it's going to be a draw. 6 chances, that's all we have for this. I'm so sorry, they are very, very popular. And this is that new shorter length as well, which has only been released recently. And people are just loving it, because you know, with the big design houses, I mean, you know the kind of brands I'm talking about, no need to name them, that are finishing off their bracelets in this kind of way. In fact, even the, you know, the small round sterling silver bracelets that you buy from big brands, they're being finished off in this way now, aren't they? He says diplomatically. You know what I mean, though, don't you?
They certainly are. I mean, I just think it means that you've got that one sort of stop shop for everybody's wrist size by having that, and also not everybody's got the dexterity to be able to open and close maybe even a chunkier clasp.
That's why people love these. They are fantastic. Let's finish off with the rose gold one then. So this is rose gold overlaid on sterling silver. I love rose gold, and I know you do so much, and of course it lends itself to either your preference or giving your customers a choice as well. So maybe you'll do the same bracelet, but you know, in rose gold, in yellow gold, and indeed in sterling silver, so everyone has the option that they want. They are so sweet, aren't they? There's a lot of silver in them as well, 2.5 grams of 925 solid sterling silver. Everyone says that, doesn't it? Stolen in a bracelet link, solid sterling silver. You have to say it really slowly, that's the thing. Okay, how many of these do we have? All right, 22 available. Coming in for you at £12.95, which is phenomenal value for money, let me tell you. Really, really good for the gram weight we have. And of course, the difference in price between sterling silver plain and overlaid in any type of gold should be probably in the region of 30 to 50%. Do you know what I mean? If not lots more. I've worked with designers elsewhere on TV who've said, right, okay, I do limited edition runs of my pieces. I maybe make, in the case of a couple of designers I've worked with before previously at other channels, they have said, right, okay, my big sterling silver bangle, which is beautiful, that might be £180 for the bangle, but if you want it overlaid in gold, you will add another £50, £70 to that. There is a big, big price uplift for an independent jeweller to take their piece to someone who does plate in gold. It's phenomenal price tags, it really is. I mean, we've done all the hard work for you. It's been done. When we do it in volume, of course, we can do it as part of the deal. The great thing is when we're negotiating to buy pieces like this from suppliers, we can say, right, okay, well, we'll have 100 of the silver. I'm picking numbers out of the sky, by the way. We'll have 100 of the silver, we'll have 50 of the yellow gold overlay, and we'll have 25 of the rose gold overlay. Therefore, we're buying 175 pieces. So we'll actually negotiate down an even better cost price for you. It's brilliant. Or, of course, we have the power to walk away from the deal and say, okay, well, there's the price we want. Give us a call when you can do that price. And then we'll carry on. It's as simple as that. Coming up, our amber rounds, which you can see there in full glorious Technicolor. They are gorgeous. 10 pieces, amber ovals, coming up for you at past. They are on pre-order right now if you want to get them. JQGY70, 70. And you can get those right now, and they will carry on whizzing round up here on the corner of the screen as well, which is brilliant. It's quite good, isn't it? I can just, whenever I fancy a change of view, I can just look up there and see gorgeous amber. Lovely. Right, okay, sterling silver. Connector now. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Did you say you'd just been on holiday, Sarah?
I have.
Where did you go, honey?
South of France.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Very, very nice. Oh, yes, of course you did. You just told me in the office, didn't you? Do you know, that was 10 minutes ago, though, I have to say. I think I may have slept since then. Yes. How was the weather down there?
It was lovely.
Was it?
Really lovely.
You're looking a very healthy colour, I have to say.
Thank you,
Is that au naturel?
That is,
Is it
yes.
assisted? No?
No,
well,
no,
very
that's
good.
all my own, yes.
Well done, you. Well done, you. Lovely. So what did you get up to? Lots of relaxing?
Yeah, lots of sort of going to the beach and sightseeing and...
lots of Chablis?
Lots of rosé from that area.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so very, very nice. Lovely area, and we've been there quite a few times, so we know all the sort of little best spots to go for lunch and things like that.
Was it coastal that you went to?
Yes,
or?
yes.
Oh, lovely. Beautiful. I once went to the north of France, actually, in Brittany, to a place called Plumenarque, which they call the Granite Rose Coast, where you see all the wonderful formations of the granite rose. It's amazing, truly amazing. The one thing I didn't find so attractive about France, driving around, was, you know those places you stop at the side of the road because, you might need a comfort break every now and again. Not quite the same kind of facilities as we have over here, is it? I walked into one once, not really knowing what to expect, and I'm glad I went in quite slowly. Do you know what I mean?
There's sort of two stages of service stations. Yes.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even that. It was just like there was a car park by the beach, and there was a brick building like we have, but there are actually facilities in there. And in the one I went into, it was rather large, dark hole in the ground, basically.
Yeah.
Attractive.
It has changed a lot recently. I think they've got.
Oh, that's
all
all
better.
right then.
Yes.
That's okay. Right, south of France next time, everyone. South of France next time. I really wasn't too enamoured with the. How did you get? Did you drive or fly?
No, we drove.
Okay, I did the ferry once from Plymouth over to Normandy, not Normandy, to Roscoff, which is Brittany, and that was one heck of a sailing. Let me tell you, when you're in your cabin, we were rocking. Like, so you're lying down and the boat's rocking, it wasn't rocked too far back, but backwards and forwards and side to side at the same time. I wasn't used to that. Cruise ships, it's fine because they only do left and right. But on a ferry, you're like, we're going every single direction here. That's crazy. Right, well done, everybody. Congratulations. That was rather nice, wasn't it? Right, let's do number 4 now. Oh, yum, 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 yum. Oh, you can't have that bit. That's ours. These are lovely. There are 5 of these in this particular little offering here. They're gold-plated, brass filigree round hoop charms. I'm seeing a fabulous pair of earrings. Oh, and maybe the suite as well. Oh, could you... Sorry, I keep oohing again like Frankie Howard. Just slap me if I do that. Could I wire work a little... Labradorite round into there. In fact, it could be a complete round bead, actually, couldn't it? Because there's a little bit of space in there.
Definitely, or you could even make it so you could wrap the back of it and put a larger cabochon behind that because you've got a hollow there.
Yes.
So
can I put one of my ambers in there from the? Let's see. Let's do a little. Hang on, I might have to do a little bit of a circus act here. Might be easier with a round amber. Oh, it works perfectly.
That's it. And
I had no need to worry at all.
And if maybe you're just starting with your wire work, it's great because you've got places to anchor.
Yes, and that's me. Well, not even started yet. Although, I'll tell you in a minute. Let's have a look at these. $6.95. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Ooh, 5s into $6.95 goes what? Not much, is it? £1 something? About £1.35 each. And if you think about what these are the starting point of, phenomenal. That's really good. I like that. In fact, the amber idea that I just had could, now this might take some doing, Leah, but we'll have a go, could end up being the centre point of your bracelet, couldn't it? I know you can't see that very well because it's difficult to tilt it forward. Hang on, I'll have another go. Hang on, just a moment. Look, there you go. There you go, look. Oh, sorry, it slipped. But imagine I've wire worked my amber in, and that could be the centre drop on a bracelet. Finished off with, if you were lucky enough, finished off with your gold-plated connector. You know the one that we had? Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Derek and Sarah. Another corker of a shirt tonight, Derek, says Sandra, in sunny Glasgow. Is it sunny in Glasgow? Because it really isn't. I know, that doesn't happen too often, does it, in Glasgow? I thought it was permanently raining in Glasgow.
They've got the good weather at the minute.
Yeah, I know, they're lucky, aren't they? It's weird that the country is turned upside down in terms of what normally happens with the weather. The complete opposite is happening at the moment, isn't it? It's rather nice, especially as I live in Yorkshire, because usually it's as wet as out up there. But it's all right at the moment. I mean, it's windy at the moment. It's like hurricane something. I'm surprised they haven't named the wind that's going through Yorkshire at the moment, you know, like Henry or Hurricane Henry or something like that. because it was mighty windy last night and today. Look at that! I had to put both the patio umbrellas down because they ended up, you know, like they do.
Ours is having a sleep at the moment.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's got a really heavy metal base, but it's gone over, so I've left it there.
It's amazing. It's amazing how strong the wind has been, actually. Anyway, how's it where you are? Drop us in a little message and let us know. 6:30, by the way, we got this, our star by, our lovely amber rounds coming up at 6:30. Sorry, which is next, Guy? Okay. Sorry, you might need to get a little bit closer. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, that's very close, isn't it? It sounded like a DJ there. I've got a DJ in my ear tonight with producer Guy. Oh, how cute are these? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Not a day goes by here at JM where we don't see another form of this delicious gemstone that we're totally in love with. Everyone loves it. I don't know anyone who just kind of gives it a passing glance and just kind of goes, oh, well, you know, it's nice, but nothing special. I think everyone is captivated, especially here. I think we are the Labradorite channel, Sarah, aren't we? Sara. Who's Sara? Who's Sara? Sarah.
We are. I think it's because early on when we first started the channel, we found this beautiful gemstone very, very quickly when we first started and realised the beauty within. And, you know, the customers also, you know, fell in love with it. So I think, you know, when you find something that is so beautiful and works for so many different designs so effortlessly, and with so many other components, you don't even have to think about what you're going to work this with, because you can always pick out the tones of the Labradorescent, or you can use this as a base tone because you've got quite a dark body of the gemstone. You can use it to lighten things up. So maybe if you're using a darker piece of something like shibori, where you just want a little sparkle in there, so you're using maybe some of those midnight colours, and you're wanting a bit of sparkle in there, this is perfect for that. Yeah, absolutely true. Do you know how much this channel has done me good? Yesterday I was presenting fashion for another brand for another channel, and there was a shibori neckline on a particular piece, and I thought, I sounded so clever. I thought, I know what shibori is now. I know what that means now. Amazing. Do you know, it's funny as well, before actually being on screen here at JM, obviously I've watched forever and ever and ever. Everybody who works in this industry watches every other channel, you know, and I have a particular love for JM before I was here anyway, because it was gemstones, and that's my bag for the last 10 years or so. But I often heard some of the presenters saying the stones will tell you in which direction to go, and I never really kind of got that until sitting here with them in my hand, and it's so true, Sarah, isn't it? It is. The stones kind of say, yeah, actually it's the colouring, it's the colour dominance in a stone that kind of says to you, here's where it should be. That's it. So, you know, firstly for me, I'll look at the shape of the gemstone, because that quite often will dictate how I'm going to use it. Marquise is beautiful to work with, isn't it? Beautiful. I mean, you can use them as single pendant drops at the bottom of a pair of earrings. You know, you can use these for elongated cocktail style rings. I mean, literally, you know, every piece of jewellery I could work these into. So whether it be a wire work bangle or you know, an embroidered seed bead piece, I could work these into every single sort of style of jewellery very, very simply. 19 sizable pieces there to work with, and of course they're beautifully graduated. That's the amazing thing about these strands, is that they are graduated for you. It's not even like you have to do any of that legwork up front. It's all done for you. It's just delicious. $19.95 is ridiculous for the carat weight, and I'm sure you know, anyone that knows anything about gemstones know that is truly, truly ridiculous. In fact, let me just do something different with that strand, because sometimes the angle that the camera looks at the strand sometimes gives you the impression that actually it might be quite a plain looking stone. It's actually when you're wearing it and when it's moving. Of course, if you're wearing this as a necklace, you will naturally, as you speak, you naturally move, and of course your piece moves with you. And look at the colour play. It's adorable. Blues, golds, greens, everything comes. I mean, and it's not just one side. If I just flip that strand over, so we see now the reverse of the stones, as I've just been showing you, there's not a right way and there's not a wrong way. The great thing about Mother Nature is her beauty is completely and utterly thorough. And it's all the way through. So this is the other side of the gemstones. Aren't they amazing? I love the way that actually Labradorite
certain pieces of Labradorite are so amazing that you'll look at them and you'll pick them up and they'll move in the light, and you'll think, actually, I've got Amylite in my hand here. Do you know what I mean? The colour play is just so darn beautiful. Right, we're not staying at 1995. We've decided to take a little bit, because we can, and we've got supply teacher producer Guy. He says, you know what? I can make a cut here, so let's do it. Let's do it. £17.95. You are here tomorrow, Guy, as well, aren't you? Ooh, right, okay. Yeah, remember that you have to come into the office at the same time as us in the afternoon. It's all right. We'll keep you safe. We'll keep you safe from upstairs. Don't worry. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, freelance doesn't count. Do what you like when you freelance. It is like supply teacher, isn't it? You can just wheel out. You remember when we were at school, it was always the supply teachers that used to wheel out the telly trolley.
Oh yes.
And you'd sit down and watch something fun.
I know.
I never wanted to watch How We Used to Live, though.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh no.
Needed something fun like Watch or Stop, Look, Listen. They were great, weren't they? Anyway, have you come up with any names yet for songs that are right for the beach? I was thinking, what was I thinking earlier? I think I've given you all the ones I was thinking earlier. So once you take a name of a song or a film and change the words to make it appropriate to beach day. TV series, Sandcastle. Oh, now what's the original one? Hang on. Is this something I don't watch? Sandcastle.
Is it just Castle already?
Is there a series called Claire? You might need to explain that one to me. Is there a series already called something else Castle that you've changed to Sandcastle, or am I being a bit slow on the uptake? Let me know. So you could have Sandy Shaw as a singer. She'd be great for the beach, wouldn't she?
She would.
Sandy Shaw. Films. I came up with 3 Men and a Starfish. Just randomly. And a TV series, The Man from Whitby, instead of The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
What about Elvis Costello?
Oh, I like it. That's a winner. Elvis Costello. Like it. You'll have some more at home as well, I'm sure. Text them in, message them in via the web. That would be great. Star by time in 5 minutes' time. And that is your amber round coming up very, very shortly. Where did they come from? 13. What should we do now then? Let's go number 11. I love the way you do say it like a bingo caller, Guy. I'm quite liking that, actually. All the ones, legs 11. Because you do bingo. That's the one thing you do when you go to the coast, isn't it? You get to play the bingo where you know when you slide the plastic things across at the seaside. That's brilliant, isn't it? And there is often a man who never quite made it as a DJ who sit there and he puts on that voice. On the white, 5 and 1, 51. You know, like one of those. Blue, 4 and 3, 43. Like that. Love it. I mock them because really I wanted to be one. That's what it is. If truth be told, I'm just very bitter and twisted. Look at this. Scream if you want to go faster. Yeah, yeah, it's the same kind of people, isn't it? On the teacup ride. Mozambique Garnet now, graduated faceted rondelles. Fantastic colour, have to say. We love garnet, gorgeous. Don't forget, of course, utilise the tassels on the strand as well. Sarah, I know you're a fan of utilising every single element that there is.
That's it. I mean, you can save these and make, just a very simple tassel style neckline pin.
Yes, when the kids need something for, a costume.
Oh, definitely.
Because how often during the year do they need a costume for something or other that tassels would be perfect for? 29. 29. Cartoon characters, theme days, that kind of thing. 29.95. Let's see how low we can take it. Go on, press the big red button, Guy. Make something dramatic happen. It is very fine quality garnet, I have to say. Mozambique Garnet is my favourite. In fact, the one coloured gemstone I ever bought in sterling silver was a Mozambique Garnet. And when I bought it, I kind of thought, it's quite a dark, quite a sort of sallow gemstone. And crikey, you take it out into daylight, doesn't even need to be a sunny day, and it leaps up to the most incredible cherry reds. It's gorgeous. Castle is an American crime comedy drama on TV, started in 2009. Thank you, Claire. Sorry. You know me, I'm still on the kids' programmes at the moment. I haven't quite graduated to grown-up TV. Thank you for that, Claire. The 2p pushers are the best thing at the seaside, says Sally in Essex. Yeah, that's why I love Tipping Point. I actually have the Tipping Point app on my mobile so that wherever I am, because I'm travelling around and this, that and the other, I can just... Because it's just a big version, isn't it, of the 2p pushers?
It is.
Except you have to answer questions on Tipping Point. You don't get to just feed coins in and just for fun. That's an amazing price tag, isn't it? $27.95. You can return on that, I think, very, very simply indeed. Beautiful. Right, okie dokie, karaoke. Ooh. Do you do karaoke, Sarah?
No.
None of my guest designers do karaoke. I can't get Deb Rudge to do a karaoke for Love Nor Money.
No, I don't.
It
seems a bit odd that we all come and do this, but none of us also stand up and sing.
I know. What do we do when we get them to the karaoke? Anyway, what's your karaoke classic when you're down at the beach? I want to know. In the meantime, let's do one of these. Star by. Right. Time for some amber. Oh, delicious amber. Precious amber. We are very, very lucky. Very, very lucky to have amber available. Look at this. Beautiful. 10 amber ovals. It's great, isn't it? It's phenomenal. It's great to be able to buy amber, you know, in sterling silver connectors, all ready to go and everything else. But there's something about having that little mini parcel that you will have of 10 of these oval ambers to play with, all beautifully quenched crackled even, should I say, where the little air bubbles were crackled. But it's so, so stable. And we know the whole story about the Baltic amber as well, don't we, of course. If you haven't seen the little documentary that Carol made, where she went to Gdansk. That's never easy to say that, is it? Gdansk. It's one of the most complicated words to say, isn't it? Anyway, when she went to Poland, where they met the family business that actually supplied this Baltic amber to us, I mean, extraordinary. Go and see it. It's on our YouTube channel. Just search. I think it's probably entitled Baltic Amber, I would imagine, something along those kind of lines. If you look on our YouTube channel, just search Jewellery Maker if you're not subscribed yet. It's well worth it, actually, because all the shows that we do end up on the YouTube channel as well. So if you ever buy a kit and you want to go back to the demonstration for that kit, the videos are all listed by date and by time, and you can rerun the fun, which is amazing. So 12 by 8mm, so they're all the same size as well, which is pretty nice. So you can make a complete suite of jewellery, you know, pair of earrings. Even for a wire-wrapped ring, I had a wonderful show, let's just say in the last 7 days. There have been a lot of shows in the last 7 days with Naughty Laura Binding. And we did a rustic ring show, and she had huge cabochons, which she wire-wrapped into rings in a very, very simple but elegant way. And this would work just as well. And because the amber is so stable, and I heard Zena was talking about earlier, you know, more recent finds of amber from, I can't remember where she said, but the amber is so young, relatively. It was like hundreds of thousands of years ago, as opposed to the, you know, millions of years, tens of millions of years, the age of this. In a ring on its own with one of these pieces, if you go to places like sort of stately homes, tourist attractions, and you see the local work of sort of artisan jewellers, people like you and I guess, you know, who kind of get to know and get to make jewellery, one single ring with an amber that size, I think could easily sell. Bare minimum, I'm probably being conservative. I tend to go on the low side rather than say, it could be 20,000. I don't do that at all. I don't hyperbolise. I try and think, okay, realistically, if I go to a National Trust property or a tourist attraction or something like that, if I see a little amber ring like that, I wouldn't be surprised, depending on the ingredients, you know, the other ingredients of the ring, to see at least somewhere in the region of £30 to £40 for one single ring. Remember, you have 10 pieces to use here. Your opportunities here are many and plenty. £19.95. £19.95, and there are 10 phenomenal pieces, and whether you decide to use half of them, all of them in one single piece, or whether you decide, right, I'm going to make a couple of rings for my customers, I'll use maybe 3 or 4 of the amber for that, and the rest, they're mine. They're mine. They're mine for my pleasure. You might just keep them just to look at, just to enjoy, just to love. They are phenomenal. £19.95. Sarah, have you had many kits that have had loose pieces of amber?
I've had a few.
Have you?
Yes, and they're beautiful to work with.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can work with them in so many very easy ways. So, you know, we had those pendants.
Yeah.
The gold ones that we looked at having maybe popping one in.
Yeah.
I was just looking at those and thinking, if you were to wire wrap 2 back to back and almost make a locket style piece.
Oh, right, okay, let me see if I can put that into action. Yes, I know what you mean. We had the, yes.
Well, I'd be tempted to use some loose sort of nuggets of amber at the bottom of another strand to fill in the bottom section, and then to put the larger...
Or you could put 2 ambers back to back and then 2 connectors back to back. Let me see whether I can do this and keep it all in place. I've kind of made an amber sandwich here, but you get the general gist. It's not going to look great, but if you think about 2 of those connectors together and 2 of those ambers back to back, in fact they've fallen side to side, but you know, you wire wrap them and secure them inside, you could create almost a locket appearance, couldn't you, with just 2 of those connectors and 2 ambers.
That's it. So if you wanted to fill the bottom section with some
smaller rounds,
looser ambers that you might have from another strand perhaps.
Details of those charms, by the way, they came in a pack of 5. Came in a pack of 5. Details of those are down there. CTDL. It's like being in the opticians, isn't it? That. Can you read the bottom line there? I was there the other day in the opticians. There they are. £6.95 if you'd like a pack of 5 of those, and it's CTDL96. Isn't it funny being an optician? Is it better with or without? This is with and without.
And they always say it with the same voice, don't they?
Yeah, bless him. I got a new optician now, and he was great fun. We laughed all the way through it. It was very, very funny. I almost couldn't see for laughing. Look at the red flashing through that amber as well. Phenomenal. Who has theirs so far, Guy? Oh, well done. We've got Dawn. We've got Celine. Hello, Celine. Good, I want to say good evening, but you're in California. So good, whatever it might be in California right now. Are you further back, aren't you, than us? So it might just be lunchtime, late morning, lunchtime? 7 hours behind, is it? So that would be 6:30, so it'd be about 11:30. Thinking about lunch, Celine? Thinking about lunch? Lucky you. How's California today? Drop us a little message and let us know. Oh, Marcy is there in Nebraska as well, having a good morning with us and our Baltic Amber. Collector in Wales. Sue in Oxfordshire. Anne in Pembrokeshire. I'm sorry, I do try some of the Welsh names, but some of them are... there's too many L's and D's. I don't know where to start. 19.95, yeah. I need L for those. Oh, are we going even lower? Oh, okay. Well, if we can, we should. That's what we're here for, isn't it? We're here for a good time, not a long time. 17.95. That makes these now. There are 10, aren't they? It's all right, Guy. You don't need the calculator. I think I can manage. We move the decimal point 1 to the left. £1.79 and a halfpenny per Baltic Amber. It's not amazing. It's totally ridiculous. I mean, I have, as you know, other than being here at JM for the last quite a while now, it feels, doesn't it? It's probably not that long, actually, a couple of months or so. My previous 10 years are on various channels selling completed, fully made jewellery pieces. One pendant with a tiny bezel of sterling silver and probably not the chain might be this price elsewhere. I'm not knocking anybody else, you know, I've been there, you know, how can I? that's why this channel for me is a revelation. To have access to these stones and knowing that I don't need to be working with sterling silver. I can be working with champagne coloured gold wire, copper wire. I can be working with rose gold, copper wire, antique bronze, whatever I want to. And I can create fabulous pieces without that expense of buying sterling silver to have to work to make jewellery. It's like a whole, yes, and you're right, Mike, as well, having the joy and the satisfaction of knowing, you know what, I did that. The one thing I think, though, once I get started, and I'm sure, Sarah, this was probably the same for you when you first started, is they're your babies then, aren't they? How do you part with them?
It's very difficult, but at the beginning, you know, when you're making jewellery, you know, your friends and family are going to be in awe of what you can make. So often it's quite easy because you'll go, well, actually, I've made this. And if you like it, I can make another one for myself, especially if you've got 10. Yeah. So it's not too bad. But it's when you get towards the end of those 10, and you've got a couple left, they're not going to be given away. You're going to keep those to yourself. Yeah,
definitely. But I think it must be wonderful, and I know we've talked about this before, Sarah, as well. When you do your first event, be it, you know, it could be the school fair for your little ones or whatever, you're raising money for something, and somebody comes up to your, you know, your stand or whatever and says, oh my word, I love those earrings, or I love that bracelet, or I love that pendant. I'd just be like, oh gosh, I'm so embarrassed. You know, but it would fill you with pride. I guess it must, again and again and again, fill you with pride and kind of...
It does also. Or you'll go somewhere, and if you're wearing your jewellery that you've made, and someone stops you and says, oh, where on earth do you get that lovely piece of jewellery from? Yeah. And, you know, and you say, well, I made it myself. And they're like, look at you as if to say, well, how on earth? Yeah. You know, and that's really lovely, especially when someone stops you and they think you've bought it from a big designer or something like that. It's amazing.
And then that's another viewer to JM, isn't it?
It is.
Because this is how you open up the door. And once you've opened up that door, by the way, you can't ever close it. That's it. It's I think it's, even if you don't consider yourself as a creative person or an artistic person, have to say, I think once you get started with jewellery making, it's so consuming. I think even in a different way to sort of paper crafting as well. I know a lot of people do both, but I think with paper crafting, you know, I think it's difficult to keep getting new inspiration. Personally, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I've never done it myself, but I know I have a mum who has a complete collection. Now, coming up here at the end of the hour, in fact, around about 10 minutes time actually, gorgeous sterling silver box chain with a bolt ring clasp, diamond cut, and at each end of the chain, got little connectors there, so it's completely open-ended for you. So you've got a bolt ring clasp in the centre, and you've got the connectors there on the outside, which is great. That's coming up around about 10 to 7. In the meantime, my T-bar is looking very bare here, I think. I feel it. I feel it should have something else there. Owls. Oh. Okay. We've got, oh, how cute. We had myself and De Bruges on... was it Saturday or Sunday? One of them. Deb had an owl kit. Well, the theme was owls, and she had some Labradorite cabs. I made a gorgeous owl sitting on a branch for a necklace. It was amazing. This is beautiful. $14.95. I also have a green amber one of these in just a second as well. So this is the cognac amber. Now I'm holding on to, at the top, another loop there. So it is a central connector. Or, you know, of course, you could wire work a branch underneath that if you were making a brooch or something like that. I've seen it done. Look at the eyes as well. How cute are they? How cute are they? And there's only none. There's only none. Let's do the green amber one then. So same thing, exactly the same thing. But with green amber. Oh, do you know, this would be one of those things. Does anyone have, might just be me, but I've got some of those Guatemalan worry dolls in my car, which sounds stranger than it is if you don't know what it is. They're like little matchstick people that are bound with thread and made into little people, and they're in a little bag. And they sit in my car and they worry for me about, you know, the price of petrol and stuff like that. And I love them, but this is the kind of thing you could keep as a keepsake, couldn't you? You know, if you're sending your daughter or your friends moving away or something, you just want to give them that little bit of something just to remember you by, or
so
you know,
nice.
it's gone. It's gone. Well done, you. Right. Okay, that's it. All gone. Sold out. Good night. What shall we do? What shall we do? Yes. Let me go back to the ambers just for a second. My star buy, just for anyone that hasn't yet grabbed these, because we managed to get them down to $17.95. Now, Guy has just asked me quite, absolutely pertinently to point out to you that a completely made up sterling silver Baltic amber, albeit that those little owls had 3 pieces of amber, of course the 2 little rounds for the eyes as well. But if you consider the price for 10 fabulous ovals of amber, the charm in silver was $14.95, and for $17.95, I think it was, it's on the screen now, you can have 10 fabulous pieces of amber in ovals, $17.95. What's not to love about that? Now the details are back on the screen right now, so if you were thinking first time around, oh heck, actually yes, I probably should get those given what we've just learned, because then if you were wire wrapping and you were making an owl in the same kind of style as you saw there in the sterling silver charm, the connector, but if you were, I mean look, it's pretty much the same, hang on, pretty much the same size, isn't it, as the owl's body there. In fact, the owl's body there is a round, and ours is more as an owl would be, I suppose, wouldn't it? A little longer and a little more slender, maybe. But if you were wire wrapping an owl, there's no reason why that little pendant or that little brooch or whatever it may be would not be way beyond the price of the whole 10 pieces of amber for just a piece wire work made with one. Does that make sense? If not, just rearrange the words in that sentence and eventually, until they make sense. You know what I mean though, don't you? So that's still available at $17.95 if you want to grab that right now. Now, oh, do you know what? That's twice I've done that, Leah. Do you know what I've done? Now, yes, now Leah, when you pick it up and bring it back to me, you know how you like to bring me a present as well at the same time. I've dropped an amber, unfortunately. Now, Leah, when she brings things back from the floor, she'll generally bring a present as well. I had an orange seed bead. Oh, you're so lovely. She's bought me a little peridot this time. Look. Look. Aren't I lucky? My present from Leah today, look, is this little chip of, I think it's peridot. Yes, it looks like it, doesn't it? Thank you. I'll treasure it with the rest of my gifts, Leah. Thank you. Guy sitting there going, is anyone going to get on with this tonight? Or are we just going to be picking up random things off of the floor? I tell you what though, I mean, you would almost long to be the person that gets to clean this studio. Because I tell you what, you certainly come out a lot richer in your gemstone treasures that you'll come across on the way. Oh, nice. Now, this is one of our real hot stones at the moment, actually, blue lace agate. And it's double drilled. Oh, look, it's almost got a little smile on its face, a little nose there in the middle. That's beautiful. This is a delicious stone to work with, especially on beach day, Sarah. This would be a perfect one, wouldn't it?
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yum, 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 yum. Big carat weight here as well, 60 carats. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces I have here. Oh, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6. It says 5 on the screen. Should I take one away then? Because I have 6. Okay, I will just take one away. I got a bonus one. Maybe that's mine to keep. Look at that. So 60 carats, 5 pieces, 17 by 12, up to 20 by... Oh, now come on. Now, Guy, how often are you here? Okay. Right. Hardly ever. He said the last time he was here was about 3 months ago. Now, you do know that blue lace agate it's the JM stone at the moment, don't you? You know how stones kind of, you know, that there are trends. You know, at the moment we are Labradorite City because we love it so much. But this is another one of those stones right now which is so hot. Do you know why I love it? I think it is its absolute similarity to Larimar, and I love it for that. I really do. You know, it just has that lovely, you know, you turn it up, just turn that up this way, and that's almost, you know, the motion of the ocean, isn't it, in some way, captured in a gemstone. It's delicious. Now, with these pieces being drilled where they are, Sarah, how would you, what would be the kind of plan for those, do you think?
So you can either use them almost to attach like with a rosary link, so you could link into them and actually have them as gemstone links if you like, or you can use them as I'm going to show in the next kit, a little few pieces, because we've got very similar pieces in there, where I've used them as almost like buttons and sewn in and through the back of them and back out again, to use them almost to elaborate over. So you can use them in lots of different ways. You can use them as drops, so you can have them as a central drop, so you could use just some of your sterling silver wire, make a loop through the top, then some smaller gemstones, and actually use them as connectors, sort of double loop connectors if you like.
And here are some sneaky peekies of kit number 1 coming up with lapis lazuli and gorgeous seed beads coming up in, gosh, only 10 minutes or so. Good Lord, it goes quickly, doesn't it? $9.95. Do you know what, I was going to tell you of a proud moment, Sarah, as we look at these stones. $9.95. I recently bought one of those felt teddy bear kits, you know, with the stuffing and everything else, and I made it up. And since being here at JM, I was inspired. So his eyes, I sewed them, you know, as the instructions, and then I sewed on a button, just a normal white button, with a little hematite bead as the actual eyeball on top of that. Using my threading skills, picked up. It was like seed beading nearly. It was nearly seed beading, and I was totally chuffed with myself. And it looks great. It looks really, really good. Sorry, we're moving on now, aren't we? Sorry. Sorry, Guy, you'll just have to keep shouting at me in my ear, sorry, because I do tend to just drift off into, I lose myself into conversation and just natter on. But that's all right, that's what we're here for, isn't it? Do get in touch, let us know how things are in your world tonight. Anything you've just been working on? Anything you've just managed to get today? Oh, yes, it is, isn't it? Sorry, shut up, Derek, it's time for one of these. Good job. This job is talking, really, Sarah, isn't it? Good job, really, isn't it?
It is.
Does help, doesn't it? I suppose. It's just lucky we don't get paid by the word. Good Lord, we'd be restricted, wouldn't we? We'd be restricted. This is a fabulous chain, I tell you now. I have sold so many ready-to-wear chains over the years, but this is a real delight because, sorry, Lee, I'm just trying to show you there, that lovely end there, because they are open ends. So in the middle of that necklace, to complete that necklace, you can do what the dickens you like. You've got the little rings there already, but let's look at the gravity of the chain itself, because it's a big box chain and it is lovely. I mean, look at how visible it is. I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think that's the thing here. Now, 2.5 grams of sterling silver, finished off with a substantial bolt ring clasp there with a little 925 stamp on it. It is super duper duper. It's diamond cut as well, which means that no matter which one of those 4 sides you're seeing, you are always getting, the light will always river through that look. Now, have we got, team, anywhere, just a black bust that I can lollop this upon? Lollop's probably not the word I wanted, but you know, it's the only one that came to mind. Lollop. We don't get to say that word every day, Sarah, do we?
We don't.
It's different, isn't it? Thank you, my darling. Oh, I only got the bust that time. I didn't get a present that time. She's not spoiling me this time. Have a little look. Now, I'm just showing you this, first of all, so you can see how visible, even across the room, that chain is. I mean, it's superb. Very, very lustrous. And then, of course, you can bring this together. When you see a lot of the designers and their kits, they often make one spectacular necklace. and often they'll wirework gemstones or Swarovski or seed bead work or whatever it might be into the center point of that spectacular, you know, show-stopping necklace. This would actually give you exactly what you needed, Sarah, wouldn't it?
That's it. So normally we would start sort of taking pieces of chain and then having to cut them and put you know, our own clasp on there and all those sort of extra components. And typically, you know, you may be using your plated findings for doing that, because you know, you may not have sterling silver, a bolt ring clasp, you may not have jump rings and everything else that match in sterling silver. So to have all of this there and literally have those loops ready to go, all you need to do is attach with whatever medium you're using. So if it's beading thread or you're going to use your seed beads, it might be your wildfire, onto those loops, and that's it, it's all done.
It's delicious, isn't it? It's
lovely.
delicious. And if for you, the joy is in creating those big, spectacular centerpieces, then this gives you, and I don't want to, I often say easy win, and I think that's just the boy in me speaking. Do you know what I mean? We like, oh, hello. It's just $8.95. Yeah, it's just $8.95. Now, people are already multi-ordering these. I'm not surprised at all. Of course, whenever there's a star buy, people, you know, want to look out for it. But to know that you are, you know, the mistress of this, of the destiny of this one, you've got two great big jump rings there to connect. In fact, let me see, are they jump rings or are they actually connected? I think they are as one with the chain. So they've actually been soldered onto the end of the chain, so they are as one with the chain.
Which is perfect for seed beading, because you've got no escape route for that very fine thread that we use for our seed beading. Also, you know, if you just want to make your strands of your higher end gemstones go an awful lot further, you've got all that beautiful sterling silver, you only need a little bar of gemstones in the centre to make this really beautiful.
That's very true, actually, because again, if I bring the bust back in for a second, the way this kind of comes back into the centre, and to some degrees I'm going to have to hold this to the bust for obvious reasons because it's not sort of finished. But if you look at this, where this naturally kind of meets in the middle, or can meet in the middle, you can make a very, very squared design. So you can have something that literally goes across like a bar, or you can follow the curvature, the natural curvature of the chain, and just follow that round in a semicircle, like a smile at the bottom in your design. Sue, well done in Greater Manchester, congratulations you. Jacqueline in Lanarkshire, multi-buying. Shirley in Lincolnshire, well done. Helen in Swansea, collector with 5 of these, congratulations. Again, Helen in Kent, Abby in Surrey, Alan and Annette, collector on Merseyside. I'm guessing, jewellery makers, it's something you don't see very often. I think actually for me it's the first time that I have seen something like this that is, you know, that is open-ended with those loops at the very end, so you can completely control where this goes. It's phenomenal. And when you consider that it's $8.95 and you consider how spectacular the final piece will be, and Guy quite rightly pointed out, if you bought a couple of these, of course, then you can transform that to long line very easily just by connecting the two together, because of course you've got your bolt ring clasp, and I'm sure you'll find very other amazing ways of just sort of being imaginative with these two. Because what you could do, of course, is use that bolt ring connector as a center point. Actually, sorry, just one second. Bolt ring connectors, got to get it done, haven't you? You could also, you know, have that going on as well, couldn't you? And have the rest of the necklace coming up from that. £8.95. Now listen, it is break time. When we come back, I've got a phenomenal star buy on some spacer bars, and then we are getting straight in to the Grecian Gateway. What could that be? Find out next.
When you place your first order with Jewellery Maker, we'll send you a free DVD and booklet to help you get started. The booklet is jam-packed full of information on gemstones, tools, threading, materials and findings. There are step-by-step instructions on how to make bracelets, earrings and necklaces, and the DVD includes easy-to-follow video tutorials. So what are you waiting for? Start your jewellery making journey today.
Buying from Jewellery Maker couldn't be easier. When we bring an item to you, all the graphics come on screen, and this gives you all the information that you will need to know, from the item code to the product description with all of the key information. Then the price comes on, and whether you join at the beginning or at the end of the offer, everyone pays the final on-screen price. So, when you see an item that you would like to buy, simply pick up the phone and dial our free phone number, and you'll get through to our UK-based call centre. Alternatively, you can join us at www.JewelleryMaker.com and start your jewellery making journey today. Jewellery Maker, the one-stop shop for all your jewellery making needs.
Owning a strand of genuine gemstones is always exciting, but being able to use it in your handcrafted jewellery, then passing it on to its new owner with proof of its authenticity is even more incredible. Why not add one of our printed authenticity cards to your order and share that same feeling with your customers? You can also access online authenticity certificates for items you have previously ordered by looking at your order history on your account details. The certificate gives you valuable information about your purchase and is your guarantee of quality and peace of mind from Jewellery Maker.
We're very excited to be launching the talented wirework extraordinaire Rachel Norris's first book, entitled Mastering Wirework Jewellery. Rachel presents 15 beautiful wirework jewellery projects, with each design having detailed step-by-step instructions and photographs, plus templates and material lists. This book will really take your wirework to the next level. So make sure you join us on Saturday the 17th for the exclusive UK launch on Jewellery Maker.
Did you know, no matter how many times you purchase with Jewellery Maker in the same day, you'll only be charged one fee of postage and packaging. Select our standard delivery for just £2.95, or if you'd like to receive your goods sooner, upgrade to our premium option for £4.95. Jewellery Maker. Create, wear, share. Good evening, everyone. It's beach day. It's summer sizzlers. It's summer sizzlers. And we've got the sizzling Sara Elvin with us tonight as well, which is brilliant. You're all ready to go. Look, she's got two pairs of glasses on again. There she is. One for seeing and one for the sun.
Got to be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. She's prepared and ready with her seed beads.
Really am.
Should we have a quick squiz at the first kit? Before we are going to do a star buy in just a second, but let me just have a quick squiz at what's coming up in our first kit. It's called Grecian Gateway, and it's lapis lazuli and seed beads tonight. So you've got a 38cm strand of 4mm round lapis lazuli, 40 carats of that. And you've got 5 big double drilled lapis pieces as well, which is really nice. And in your seed beads, you've got three different pots of seed beads there. So you've got some silver lined light gold 8/0s, some galvanized silver 11/0s, and some champagne Mayoki Duracoat galvanized 11/0s as well, which is amazing. And if none of that means anything to you, do not worry at all. Now, we can open that up to pre-orders right now. Let me give you the code. It is WLGC18. WLGC18 is the item number for the Grecian Gateway kit. There's Sarah's jewellery and the kit, and we will go and investigate all of that right now. But if you want to go and have a quick look at the kit, you can. But before we go over to Sarah, let's do one of these. My phone's doing that really weird thing again. I've got one of those phones made by one of the, the mobile phone people, the kind. And every now and again, it starts dictating what I'm saying and printing out on the screen of the watch what I'm saying. It's all very bizarre. Yes. Yeah, so if my phone rings, my watch will light up and do all of that kind of shenanigans. Every now and again, it must be something I say every now and again, it makes it dictate everything that I say and then print it onto the screen. It happened the other evening. Weird, really strange. So I'm looking at my watch and I'm reading what I said about 30 seconds ago. Most odd. I'm being listened to. Anyhow, How about these? And actually these would work really nicely actually with Sarah's kit as well if you wanted to incorporate them. They're 925 sterling silver, 2-hole spacer bars. They could be a way of adding your branding, by the way, to clasps of pieces that you make. If you have a little branded tag, you know, a lot of makers will end up creating their own stamped tag for their branding, if you like. And that could be an adaptation of your signature. It could be, you know, a little squirrel for you, or whatever it might be, your little maker's mark. You could either add them to this, or you could kind of add this near a connector or a clasp to kind of add something like that, couldn't you? But traditionally, I guess they're more for somewhere in the middle, Sarah, are they, these?
They are. So typically these would be used to create either neckline piece or a bracelet where you have almost like tram lines of gemstones that are separated by the 2 holes in these spaces to keep them perfectly parallel all the time on your wrist or on the neckline piece. Yeah,
I understand. The thing I've noticed, the reason I'm moving this around my finger, by the way, is not, you know, for any strange reason. It's just to feel how smooth they are, actually, because obviously if they're going towards the outside of a piece that's against the skin, you want to make sure that they're nicely rounded and they're nicely smooth, and they're not, you know, not creating a jagged surface. And they're brilliant. I think these are lovely, don't you? They're all in sterling silver. You get 30 of them. Have we got any grammage on this guy? Do we know what the gram weight is in total? Do we have it on this? Don't know what it will be. You know, about boys are always into that kind of thing. How many grams is it? It's like top trumps all over again, isn't it? What's the horsepower under the lid? That kind of thing. Although, no, I know nothing about cars, let me tell you. Right, listen, we'll bring you the price in, then we'll investigate and see. That's good. That's good, because I'm guessing having sterling silver is like the creme de la creme, versus, I guess you can buy these in base metal as well. I'm guessing.
Typically, they normally come in sterling silver because the pieces you're going to be using with it are normally of that quality that you'd want to only be adding sterling silver to it. But typically, I've not seen them very often. I know we do tubes of a slightly different shape of twin hole beads that they're in a base metal.
Perfect. I love them. I think they're great. £7.95 as a star buy right now. So all you need to do, there are 2 ways to order. In fact, no, there are more than 2, actually, to be honest with you. You can give us a call on 0800 644 655 and speak to the team. Or you can go via the web, JewelleryMaker.com. That's a really quick way of doing it, actually, because actually, as a web viewer, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but you probably know anyway, but just for those that are not in the know, who haven't got their online account sorted yet, you get to see the prices before everybody else. I know. I know. How good is that? You can also do it via, I was going to pick up my phone as if it was here, and it's not. The watch is here that's attached to the phone, but if you've got a smartphone or a tablet, I got a tablet, look. You can load up the Jewellery Maker app, and you can watch the live stream wherever you are. Obviously watch the data thing, you know, if you've got data on your package, use it on the Wi-Fi as much as you can, I would say that. But you can order, so if you're at work in your coffee break and you know that the one to own is at 3:30, the must-haves at 8:30 or whatever, and you're at work or you're somewhere else, you can just have a quick log on, see what it is, and say, oh yes please, add to basket, and you can buy it there and then, while you're on the move. Just make sure, of course, you check out before midnight, so that all of your pieces go through that day, because then your P&P is only £2.95, isn't it, for the whole day? Oh, it's going lower. How much lower are we going? Let's see what the system will let us do. Now, when you're talking £7.95 as a start, taking another £2 off is very, very good indeed. Is very good indeed. Take advantage. Stock up. Stock up on those, because that's a nice, useful little resource. The holes, by the way, it's 8 by 2 millimeter, the length of the piece. So the holes are going to be just over. It would be just over a millimetre apart, I guess, something like that.
Yeah.
Shall I have a little measure, just to be on the safe side? Okay, you look at that one, and I'll have a little measure down here.
Probably about between 5 and 6 millimetres apart, maybe.
Yes, of course, because it's 8 millimetres in length.
Of course, yeah, I was thinking, can't be 1 millimetre away.
Yeah, no, it can't be 1, can it? See, I am as stupid as I look. It is possible. Yeah, I think they're about yeah, 5-ish millimetres apart, which is good. And so the drill holes in them must be a good 1 mil, I'm guessing, as well. I mean, they do look quite substantial.
So that would be
really, really good to have, just as a little bit of a stash builder. They're great. And sorry, I think I've been saying that there are 20 pieces. You actually get 30. Sorry. I mean, I have really, really messed this one up. You're going to mess it up. Do it in style, Derek. 30 of them. So you're getting 10 more than I said for £2 less than we thought. How good? Yeah, sorry. And I have also lulled producer Guy, who is our supply teacher tonight, producer. There he is there on the left. I've also lulled him into a false sense of security, and based on the 20 I was saying, he took the price down to there. Well, there you go. It's win-win all round there, isn't it? It's quite useful having a fool around, isn't it, really? You never know your luck in a raffle. £5.95. Oh, talking of a raffle, I think there are still some spaces available if you want to come to the summer party on Friday. I had a little email to say that there are still some spaces available if you want to speak to the team and do. And in the tombola, there's going to be a tombola on the day. Some fantastic prizes even, including there's a in fact, producer Mike in the next top of the next hour will play the promo, which will give you all of the details. But the tombola prizes are brilliant. Some jewellery from some of our designers. There's a £110 voucher as well, I think, as one of the prizes as well. It's pretty good. I'll look that up and as we're doing Sarah's demo, and I'll tell you what some of the prizes are. But they sound pretty good. I'm almost sad I can't be here because it's on Friday, isn't it, this week?
It is on Friday.
So yeah. I'm around. I'm elsewhere. I'm talking cruise holidays elsewhere on Friday. Busy week, but back next weekend, which is good. Shall I go now? Shall we go for a walk? Come on, let's go for a walk. Come on, Leah. Let's go for a little walk, shall we? Let's go and see some Grecian Gateway. I tell you what, on my way over, I've got to pick up one of these. I've got to pick up one of these. I've got to pick up one for you, Sarah, Elvin, as well. There you go. You have that one. Is there another one? Okay, Leah will get me one in just a second. Because we have these lovely...
we'll make sure
what do we call them?
Leis, aren't they? Yeah, leis. Yeah,
Leis?
Hawaiian leis.
Yeah, lovely. There's one coming... Oh, Leah's trying to find me one at the moment.
There we go.
Because I think you should with this shirt. It's just my colour, actually. There you go, I've got one too now. Lovely. Right. Okay, you're ready then. Let's do a kit, shall we? Grecian Gateway is our kit tonight. What a lovely name for it as well, Sarah.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's a beautiful name.
Very nice. And you've made some scrummy jewellery from it as well. Superb. Have a look at some of these wonders here. They are delicious. I'll just move that over there so that Leah can see it. Some gorgeous necklaces, some wonderful earrings, and some bracelets as well. So this one is a combination of lapis lazuli and seed beads. So use Sarah's amazing inspiration to give you some ideas, and then you can take the kit and go in lots and lots of different directions as you want to. Again, let's go through all the elements of the kits. Which way do you want to start with, the seed beads or the stones, Mike? Let's start with the stones. Two different varieties of lapis lazuli cuts here. We've got double drilled oval, 16 by 12 to 21 by 14, 5 of those to play with, which is great. And you also have a 38 centimetre strand of 4mm round lapis lazuli. Leah's found one. Leah's found one. And now let's look at your seed beads that are in this kit as well, because these are great. Two different sizes. We've got some 8Os and 11Os. So we've got the 8Os are the silver-lined light gold Mayuki. You've got the 11O Mayuki galvanized silver, 20 grams of those, and you've got 23.5 grams of the Mayuki champagne Duracoat galvanized 11Os, which in plain English means these beauties here. And we're going to get started with something rather fabulous. Now, if we bought all of those constituent components together, it comes to a grand total of, do we know? What's right, £30.75. So that is the price if we were saying, okay, the tubes of seed beads, the pieces of lapis and the strand of lapis, if you bought individually, that would be the cost for you. Of course, whenever we bring you a kit and some fabulous inspiration and like a free workshop to go with it, we also reduce the price tag as well. So get ready. If you love your lapis lazuli, if you love your seed beads, you know I'm still on the lookout for my first seed bead kit to buy because I can't wait to get started. Oh, we're not bringing the price down now? We're not going to bring the price down yet. Oh, you're cruel guy. It's going to make us wait, Sarah. Deary me, that's harsh, isn't it? Harsh but fair. We will drop the price. So if you want to get that into your basket right now, in advance of Guy dropping the price tag, oh, you're a brave man, Guy, keeping these ladies waiting, and gents as well, who want this kit, who don't yet know how much it is. We will be dropping the price soon. Right, okay, what will we learn tonight then, Sarah, my darling?
So we're going to do the bracelet.
Okay, so this one?
No, the other one on the other side.
One?
Yes,
okay.
that one there.
This one here?
Yes, which is almost got a little bit of a hedgehoggy feel to it because it doesn't sit flat. It's not supposed to. It's sort of almost one section will sit flat and the next one will sit up. So it sits beautifully on your wrist because you've got a flat surface against your wrist. But it's just beautiful. It's
beautiful. I might just lay that over my wrist actually so we get a little look of how that... In fact, actually, it would probably be better if you did it really, wouldn't it? Because you're slightly less monkey-like than my arms.
There you go.
That is delicious as well. Take a little look. Now, we are going to learn the methods and the techniques of creating this beautiful texture. So you're using the lapis beads right the way through the centre and those gorgeous seed beads. And the seed bead, the great thing about seed beads, and I hadn't really thought about this, I always thought about seed beads being, you know, wild colours, you know, sort of that sit together, very obviously beads that are not made of, you know, silver or gold, but actually the silver lined and the lined seed beads, they look like solid gold.
They do, and it just gives that beautiful metallic feel to a piece of jewellery. And you've got the galvanised finish on there and the Duracoat, so you know you can wear this with confidence that they're protected. All of those metal coatings that have been used here are protected by an extra coating on the top as well, which allows you to then make pieces with confidence, put all that time and effort in, get that really high-end metallic look, but you know that you're not paying the price of a sterling silver bead or a gold-plated bead. And you get to go to town with your designs and actually really then layer and layer and layer those beads.
And you managed to make a heck of a lot out of this kit as well. I guess you had lots left over as well.
I did. I haven't even touched my second kit. So what I'm demoing with is actually from the first kit, and I've got plenty of leftovers from other seed beads as well.
Fabulous.
There's loads of those.
Quick word from me. The price tag you see on your screen, don't worry about at all. Producer Guy is he's holding his cards close to his chest. He wants you to be inspired first, and then he's going to drop the price. Oh, he's a brave man. He's a brave man. Right, let's get started then, Sarah, shall we?
Okay, so if I pop that up the top there, we can refer to it as we need to.
Yep. Love this board, actually.
Yeah,
is this a beading board?
It is a beading board, and
it,
if Kleshner's watching, I borrowed it, Kleshner, because I forgot my beading mat, so I'm terribly sorry. I borrowed it out of your bag, but I'm going to pop it back when I'm finished.
That's why it looks regal, like it came from the palace.
Yes. That's it. So
Princess Kleshner.
Yes, I borrowed it out.
Beautiful.
But I'm sure she won't mind.
No, she won't mind. She won't mind.
Okay, so to get started, I've got a piece of either Wildfire or Fireline, whichever is your preferred. And as a beader, you know, you'll find one that you prefer to work with. They're both beautiful quality.
Which gauge are you using?
This is a £10 weight.
Yep.
But you can use any of the weights because the bead. This design is we go back several times through the bead, so we're putting that extra sort of weight in there. But because we're not using, say, a size 15 bead, we don't have to worry about the gauge of our thread because we're not going through a tiny hole in the seed beads.
Cool.
And I'm using 2 size 10 beading needles, but equally these could be size 12 beading needles, whatever you've got, and I've got one on either end. And you'll need an arm's span of your thread, so what you can cope with. So I can normally do fingertip to fingertip. Of thread, and that will give me plenty to do this design, and I'm not going to have to worry about adding
and that's about a metre-ish, isn't it? Something like that.
Is it metre and a half? Yeah.
Okay.
And because we're using 2 needles, it's not so bad because you're only basically working from the centre out. So if you've got 2 meters of thread, you're only working 1 meter at a time because you're going to work from the centre out with each needle. Coolio. So onto that, I have added 6 of whichever colour you want to use for this piece. And I'm using the galvanised 11/0s here. And I've added 6 onto my thread. And this is going to create the section where my clasp is going to attach. That's why I'm using an even number, is so that my clasp will sit in the middle of that. So if you want to make a slightly larger loop, put 8 on there if you find it difficult to get your clasp in a smaller gap. But I like to create a little space so that my clasp stays central. So then I'm going to pick up one of my lapis, and I'm going to pick it up on one needle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other needle through in the opposite direction like so. Okay, so what I'm going to do is push one of those through. Now, because we're using a gemstone, you need to keep the needles parallel to each other. Normally, if you're doing this with seed beads, you can actually do them a slight angle because you're going through a much smaller, narrower bead at that point. But we need to keep these needles nice and parallel to each other and pass that through. So pull one needle through one direction, one needle through in the opposite direction, and then I put both needles together like so, and then I just pull my fingers down the thread and pull till I get to the centre. And I know that's the centre because when I threaded my needles I made sure both the tails of my thread were the same length. So now I know that's the centre of those two, that thread, and I've got 2 equal pieces of thread on either side to work with. Okay. So now we're going to start to create the central spine of the bracelet. So where all the lapis are sitting, this is the section we're going to create first. So we're going to work down the bracelet to create that. So to do that, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a quick way, the way I find is quicker to do this, and that is to work with one needle to start off with. And we're going to do a ladder weave or a right angle weave, but it's a slightly different variation because instead of just having one bead, then creating a section of 4, we're going to create a section of 8 beads. So the lapis is our centre here, and we're going to pick up on one side 3 of my 8s onto my needle, and then I'm going to pick up one of my lapis, there we go, onto there. And that lapis is then going to be the second part of my ladder. So if I put it underneath, you can see it'll sort of sit there as my second part of my ladder weave. Okay. But normally now what we do is we replicate the 3 on this thread and cross them over. Okay, yeah. So you're crossing each time. But what I find easier is if you just work on one needle and pick up a repetition of 3 and then a lapis.
Well, Mark's tuning in tonight. Guess his own Mark. See what you're doing. Because he loves his seed beading.
He does love his seed
Always looking
work.
for new ideas.
Oh, well, this is quite a basic one, but it's a sort of elaborated basic ladder weave, which is quite nice to do. So you do this until you've got a good length of 3s and lapis. So 3 of your 11s and lapis. And then I would swap needles. So I pop one over and pop it into your mat so it's out of the way and you're not going to pick that one up by accident. So now I'm going to start working back up and using these as my stepping stones for my ladder weave, my lapis. They're going to be my crossing points. Okay, right. So because I'm not using that needle, I don't have to worry about passing the 2 needles into each other. I'm just going to pass one back through. So I'm going to pick up 3 on this thread. And then I know that the thread's coming out in this direction from that lapis. It's coming away from me. So I'm going to take my needle in back towards me through the lapis that's already existing, on the previous strand, like so, and pull that through. And now you can see that I've got the start of a ladder weave. So I've got one set of runs, if you like. So that's the bottom run, and that's the next one. If you want to think of it as a ladder. Yeah. And then I'm going to pick up another 3, and I find it really easy to pick up. If you've got a pile of seed beads like this, if you actually dome them up a little bit, you can actually just run your needle through. So if I take these off. Oh, and it will naturally... Yeah, so if you keep it sort of almost parallel, you can almost, can you see I picked up 2 straight away there? Without actually looking at the actual seed bead. Does it help having a base that is an opposing colour if you can? Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got several beading mats at home that are in different colours. So I've got a beige one, I've got a pink one, I've got a blue one, and I've got a sort of almost a sort of chocolate colour, which is great if you're using clear beads or silver beads, because it just makes it easier on the eye to see what you're doing. And then again, we're going to step through in the opposite direction to which that thread's exiting. So through, like so, through the lapis, and then pull through. And each time, make sure you're pulling up nice and tight to create that ladder. Okay, so we're going to do that until we get the whole length of our bracelet.
Okay.
So I'd sit and do one side and load all my beads, all three beads, a lapis, 3 beads, a lapis, all the way along until I've got a really good long length. And then on the opposite one, I just add 3 and cross over, 3, cross over, all the way down. And I find that easier personally when I'm doing a ladder weave. Yeah. Just because I find that I'm not always having to pick up 2 needles and cross them each time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a length of my beads now. And what I've done is I've gone through and I've added another loop on the other end of 6 of my silver galvanized 11/0s, and I've just passed the thread back through both of those sets of beads. As I was doing the ladder weave, I've just gone through all 6 to get back. So now that's the central core or spine of my bracelet. So now I'm going to start to add in my beautiful, if I bring this down.
We're adding the texture.
Yeah, we're going to add in almost like these dragon scales. Can you see on that? So hold it that way. You can see the way it sort of undulates. And that's because each of these sections is too big to sit flat.
Yeah.
So you can see it sort of undulates because we've got too many beads to sit in a perfect flat line, and that creates the texture. So we're going to sort of create that.
Can I just say, just as we're moving on to that, if you're looking at the price tag on the screen right now and thinking, like this kit, lots in it, lots of lapis lazuli, lots of fabulous beads. We're about to get to the real part of the action here. Come on then, let's do it. Let's get this price down then, shall we? You've got so much lapis lazuli going on here. You've got that 38cm strand of 4mm plus those 5 double drilled ovals that are huge to work with, plus your 3 tubes of beads there as well, your 8/0s and 11/0s, and they are great, top quality. So let's get down from £30 and whatever it was, let's get all the way down to tonight's fantastic price tag. £24.95. And I have to say, for the lapis lazuli alone, I think that's very, very good indeed, especially as you've got those big pieces. The quality of the larger pieces you've got as well is superb, showing off that pyrite that goes through. And of course, the pyrite, those golden pyrites that are coming through, match those beautiful seed beads amazingly, especially, you know, the silver line light gold ones. I mean, just perfect with them, and the champagne ones as well. It works perfectly. So £24.95. I'll give you time now to pop that into your basket as we get to the heart of the matter now, which is how we create this beautiful sort of multi-leveled texture on the side of the bracelet.
Okay, so what we need to do is we need to step away from the first run of our ladder. And what I'm going to do is step down 2 of the beads in the 3 on the outside section. So we're basically coming out of the middle bead, if you like. I'm going to pull through and drop that down. And I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side, because what that does is it creates the tension in that clasp section, so I don't have to worry about that moving. So I'm going to literally go down those 2 beads on that side section, so 2 of the 3. So I'm coming out of the middle bead. So that's why we've got 3 there.
Ah, okay.
If you wanted to make the runs bigger, use 5 beads. And that will create again, a central point for you.
Yeah.
Odd numbers in seed beading seem to work a treat.
Yeah.
And it just means that you've got a natural central section. So what I did was I alternated the colour of my seed beads down my rows.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off and I'm going to pick up 5 of... Again, you can just scoot through your pile of beads with your needle. 5 of my galvanised, and I'm going to miss 2 beads, 2 of the gold beads, so the one just before the lapis and the one just after the lapis, and go through the central section, central bead, shall I say, of the next section. So through that one there. If I hold that up, can you see I've gone through that 3rd bead, and you can see I always go through a little triangle of beads there, and I've gone through that middle bead that's forming that little triangular section. I'm going to pull that through, and it won't at this moment create that central section that's going to create that movement. Because what it's doing at the moment is that row of beads is pushing this row of beads out.
Yes.
And until I've got the bottoms, both sides on, it will not create that undulation. You'll get a flat design, but what you'll find is this will start to curl. So if you wanted to, you could do this on a neckline piece and just do one side, and you'll naturally get this piece, this ladder weave, to curve gently, because it's naturally going to want to push the beads apart to let those 5 beads sit flat. So now I'm going to pick up 5 of my gold, 3, 5, there we go. Pull those down, and again I'm going to drop down and pick up the middle bead of that next section. There we go. So right in that middle section bead, pick that through and then pull through, and you'll see you've got your next section in. So that's naturally sitting flat at the moment. You see we haven't really got a lot of movement. We get a little bit of maybe, but it's pushing that into a little curved section. So now if I swap sides and start to do the opposite side, so I always turn my work over. I prefer to work away from me, and I always put my other needle a long way away, so I don't have a tendency to pick that up or it get in the way of my other thread. So again, I started off with silver on this side, so I'm going to pick up silver on the opposite side. So I've got 5 again, picking up that central bead again on the next section of, as we move along, we're always picking up the central bead, pull through, and now can you see if I've pulled that, it's starting to want just to start to kick up a little bit, because it hasn't got that place to move anymore. I've created a parallel again. I've created even tension on either side of that lapis, and that's pulled it back straight and then made those beads have nowhere else to go but to go up. And quite often it's a lot about sort of tension with seed bead work and finding the right number of beads to fit a gap. But actually what we've done here is we've forced more beads into a space that they don't naturally want to fit into.
You're forcing a pint into a half-pint pot.
I am. And literally that's making the beads have that movement. So they will never lose that, even if you put this in your jewellery box and you know, sort of mistreat it a little bit. You're never going to lose that. Can you see that section there now? So the first one can sort of sit flat, but the next one's got nowhere to go. It has to go up.
Has to go up.
And you would literally carry it on down your bracelet, alternating. So if I do another little section just to show, 1, 2. So again, alternating colour. So I've gone to silver now. And what I did at home is I did the whole of one side, and then came back and did the whole of the other side. So again, for speed, you don't have to keep changing, picking up different needles and all that and all of that, so you don't lose where you are. And again, I always lay my beads out like I've got here, so I never have to worry too much where they've gone. And so we've got another little section going in there, and you would carry on that all the way down until you got to the other end. I would now go back through my clasp section and reinforce it. And I just wanted to show a really quick fix if you're new to seed beading and you're...
That's me.
You know, if you're thinking, like we showed with that neckline piece, that we don't always want to do a whole bracelet piece. So on the piece that I made, I did the whole bracelet length and put a normal clasp on either end. But you might only want to make a smaller section and use the extended piece from a ribbon clasp. So what you can do is you can use these and just do a smaller section like this. Especially if you're new to seed beading, you might think, I haven't got the patience at the moment, or maybe I just want to try a new design and I don't want to do a whole piece. You might want to use something like this ribbon cord ending, or if you've got those shorter length popcorn extenders that we had earlier on, you can use those as well to just fill in.
Oh yeah, of course you could. Yes, so, you could bring it in, couldn't you? Yes.
So the little loop that we created at the end, I just need to find my other round nose pliers.
They're in there somewhere.
They are. I've
just got some breaking news, by the way, Sarah.
What's that?
I've got some breaking news. The price of this kit, and it's very, very popular. I think we only started with around about 50 or so of these kits. Am I right? From what I can see, we've got a lot in baskets at the moment, and there's more to come from Sarah in just a second, so don't go anywhere. We're not staying at this price tag. I've just heard breaking news. We already came down from the constituent parts, came to something like £30.60 or something. We've come down to £24.95, but I've just heard that we are going even lower, which is great news for Terry and Laura and Margaret and Elka and Vanessa and Anne, who's just come in, and Elaine and Stephanie and Judith and Sharon and many more names I can see popping up, because this is going even lower. So just a quick overview again of what's in the kit for you. In fact, let's find out that new price first, and then I'll overview the kit for you. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, producer Guy has just broken the JM law. Oh. That's all right. It's fine. It's fine. It's done now. As soon as that price has been, count to 10, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Now it's legally binding. Now it has to done. It has to be the price now. £22.50, and those names will pop up. How many kits are remaining now, Guy? Right. Okay. We're approaching our last 40 kits available in this tonight. Now let me overview the kit for you as well. Let's go for stones first, shall we? Lapis lazuli. There's an awful lot of lapis lazuli in this kit. You've got the 5 lapis double drilled ovals. Does that have a carat weight next to it, Guy? The double drilled ovals. I didn't have a note of the carat weight on those. We've got a 38 centimetre strand of the 4mm rounds, which is 40 carats. Right, in the ovals, it's 65 carats. So between those 5 ovals, 65 carats, we're guaranteeing the carat weight, and they are double through drilled as well. Now, in the seed beads, you're getting 3 tubes of seed beads. You're getting a tube of the 8O Miyuki Silver Lined Light Gold, 22-gram tube. You're getting a 20-gram tube of the Miyuki Galvanized Silver 11Os, and you're getting a 23.5-gram tube of the Miyuki Champagne Duracoat Galvanized 11Os as well. That's a lot to remember. And there are now just 43 kits remaining. Now, just while... Sarah's carried on now. She's just carried on in the meantime.
It's so addictive, you can't stop.
Yeah. See, this is why I haven't picked my first kit. This could be my first seed bead kit tonight, if there are any left at the end of the show.
Good.
I am looking for that first one. I've been so inspired by yourself and Mark and others. This is brilliant. So we're just going to finish this one off, aren't we?
Yes, yeah. So literally I finished the side, one side, and I was just going to put the other side, just carry on all the way up to the top. But just to show you how easy it is to use a ribbon cord ending if you do want to make that extending piece. And this will create about 2 inches at the back of your piece that you don't have to necessarily seed bead. And if you want to make it longer, just use a matching piece of chain and create an opposite side, and you'll actually end up with about a 4-inch piece. So almost this little piece here would almost be long enough to fill in that central section.
I'm just going to interrupt just again, sorry. Oh, that boy keeps interrupting, doesn't he? Doesn't know when to shut up. We've just found, we had the bracelet pieces earlier, but we've just found in one of the boxes, slightly longer, so it's about 3 times the length maybe.
Yeah.
It's a necklace connector with the sliding clasp. And this gives you were saying earlier, if you just carry on one side with your design, that it naturally gives you the smile that you would need for the end of a necklace.
So, I mean, we could use that.
So let's use that, shall we? We'll put the details on the screen.
Yeah. Go on there. And that would be the bottom section for your neckline piece. Yeah,
and of course you'd use this as the slider.
Yeah.
To slide up and down if you want to. So you can just make that. There you go. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
very,
gorgeous.
very good indeed. Nice.
Absolutely perfect.
In fact, what I'll do is I'll show you this properly, just so we get a couple of minutes with this, because this is lovely. So again, it's the same kind of thing that we had for the bracelet connector earlier. So it's 2 lengths of popcorn chain and the slider clasp there at the top. Now, on one end, you've got the little bead, so you can't pull that slider clasp off and too far. On the inside, it's open, so you have the 2 little rings there, which are as one with the chain. They're actually fixed to the chain for you to then create the center of a necklace. And of course that slider bead, because it has the little grommets inside, allows you to simply just pull out and extend. And that makes it really, really versatile, because if you're creating a piece and you're not quite sure of someone's preference on length, This gives them the opportunity to actually adjust as they want to, which is superb. Now this comes in, the gram weight of sterling silver on this is, was it 4 grams I saw there? And of course it is rose gold plated. Of course it's one of the most premium platings there is. So it's come onto the screen at £24.95, but we're not going to stay there. Of course this is the necklace version of what we had earlier. We had the bracelet version earlier. This is the longer length. We sold out in all of the bracelet versions in silver, yellow gold and rose as well. So if you wanted the necklace one to match the rose bracelet one that you had earlier, £21.95. £21.95. And it's all yours right now. Phenomenal, isn't it? That's really, really good. And there's so much silver in there. Trying to find another way to do this kind of thing as well would be very, very difficult. You could, of course, make your own kind of slider mechanism in some way. I am absolutely sure of that. I know a lot of you have the talent and the wherewithal to be able to do that. But again, there's nothing more secure than one of these little clasps where you've got the bead of silver, and inside there, I don't know whether you can see inside, there are 2 holes for the chain to feed through. And it's not just feeding through on its own. Inside those holes, sitting in the middle of that bead, there are some silicone grommets which allow you to adjust the length of the chain as you want to and pull it through. But when you stop, it stops. And you actually do need to use a little bit of effort to actually it feeds through beautifully. And for a popcorn link, that's not necessarily, you know, one of the easiest links to do that kind of thing with, but it feeds through beautifully and it works really, really nicely. It does. Fabulous. £21.95. Again, if you want to add that to your order, complement it with the bracelet connector you had in rose gold earlier. Phenomenal. It's really, really good. And of course, remember, if you want this kit tonight, which is the one at the bottom of the screen there, WLGC18, the Grecian Gateway kit, it's all of this gorgeous lapis lazuli, 65 carats of the ovals, plus of course you've got the 4mm rounds, another 40 carats there, plus your 3 tubes of seed beads, all the Mayukis as well, the 8Os and 11Os in light gold, silver and champagne. And you've got the, oh, now look, in the time it's taken us to look at that, Sarah's finished that whole section off now.
So that could be, you know, big enough, you know, if you wanted to actually be a little central section. Or
That's
you
beautiful,
could,
isn't it?
You could use that as a drop on a neckline piece. It could be, you can make a smaller version and use it as an earring. You can make lots of these and sew them all together and make lots of links for a neckline piece. So, you know, it's a great little design. And it's such a simple one to do, and works really quite nicely because you've got the alternating colours as well, which gives it quite a... So I always think when you've got lots of different colours of metallics together, you get quite a lavish feel.
Yeah, it's great.
An opulent feel.
Well, there's nothing better actually. If you ever, I'm not sure if I've ever seen it here, but if you get a sterling silver chain that's called a tricolor. So you've got the yellow gold, the rose gold, and the white gold called alternating around the chain. It's one of the most popular looks. I've sold millions of them elsewhere, and I do mean literally millions of chains that are tricolor and those multi-metal. And a lot of people in fashion are mixing their metals as well.
Definitely.
So very, very quickly, you're going to show us how to sort out this is the ribbon end cord.
So you've got a ribbon cord ending, which I always think is a sort of an underestimated finding. Purely because you get so many different components in one finding. Okay, so you've got 2 jump rings, you've got an S hook, and you've got your extender piece of chain and your 2 pieces that would hold your ribbon normally. So we're going to use everything apart from the ribbon cord endings, and they come with open jump rings on the end. So I'm literally going to hold the opening of the jump ring at the top, and I'm going to use 2 pairs of flat nose pliers because they give me more surface contact to hold the jump ring. If you haven't got the 2 pairs, you can use the one that I'm going to use to open it. You could use a pair of round nose pliers. Okay. As long as you've got a good grip on one side of the jump ring, you can use the round nose pliers, but I prefer to use 2 pairs. And I'm going to open the jump ring, and I'm going to open one side, and I'm going to lift it towards me. So I'm not pulling them out, I'm just lifting very gently. So that creates a twisting sort of opening sensation, if you like. And I'm just going to pop the jump ring out and separate those 2 parts of my finding that have now become friends. Stop that. And I'm going to use the jump ring that I've opened to catch in the section where we created that little loop of 6 beads.
Ah, okay, yes.
So I'm going to just
sneak it in next to the lapis.
And if you find that you need something to hold against, I just push against my finger to create something to work against, and then that holds, that finding will hold in that loop for you.
And it's rounded anyway, isn't it?
It is. And what I'm going to do is attach the finding back onto the S-hook again. And because it's an S-hook, I wouldn't necessarily need to put it on now. I could just close the jump ring.
And again with the jump ring, it's just like opening and closing a door, as you said.
I'll do it without it, so you can actually just see the jump ring being closed.
The door moves, but the frame doesn't.
That's it.
Oh, look, Angela in Cleveland says, Derek, I'm making my first CB bracelet, flat spiral weave, as demo recently by Katie. It's so easy.
Oh, the flat spiral weave's beautiful. I love that one. Yes.
I can't wait. I'm going to be going back through all of my previous shows. As soon as I get my first CB kit, I'm just going to go for it. I can't wait.
So what I do is I make sure that I'm looking at that jump ring.
Yep.
And I'm going to make sure, because you can see there, I've got a bit of a gap.
Yep.
I'm going to twist it backwards and forwards. And I don't want any space for that thread to get through.
Okay, yeah.
If you have in your findings box any closed jump rings, so when we talked about those necklace extenders and things like that, they've got the closed jump rings. When you create this loop of 6, what you do is you create that loop of 6, but with that loop of that extender or the closed jump ring already in there. So you actually sew it into the design.
Perfect.
Because then you've got no escape route for that jump ring. And then I would do exactly the same on the opposite side, except this time I would put the chain side on.
Yeah.
And that's then going to give me that beautiful piece to be able to make that into a bracelet.
Oh, I love it.
But if I wanted to make the same on either side, I could cut another piece of chain that's exactly the same length and have chain and then the S-hook in the middle.
You, lady, are a genius. Love it. Thank you very much.
It's quite a quick make for seed beading
as well,
which
fabulous.
Is really nice to be able to have that in your...
It gives us a little bit of time to play with in this hour, which is fantastic. So I will be back. Don't go anywhere.
Shan't go anywhere.
You and I are going over there to do one of these. Ah, lovely people. What inspiration. The more seed bead kits I see, thanks to these lovely people. It was Mark that started it all off, I think, and I've seen quite a few guest designers since with seed beads. And I'm like, right, okay, first kit, here I come. Definitely. Especially when you broke the JM law with the price there, Guy. I'm liking that. Ooh, I'm liking that. Might be that kit, if there's any left, at the end of tonight. Right. Little bit of a star buy for you, and then we'll try and squeeze in a few bits and pieces before the top of the hour. We've got some spinel here, but it's slightly different. So it is black spinel, but it's been given the most incredible diamond coloured coating. And it just gives you a little bit of a variance. It just gives you, if you have regular black spinel, you know, and I've said this, you know, and I will never stop saying it, offer me a ton of black diamonds, offer me a ton of black spinel, thank you very much, I'll take the spinel, because I think visually it's beautiful. They don't have pits and crazing and lines and everything else, any interruption to the luster, and I know value, you know, in terms of, you know, pounds and pence, I'd be out of my tiny mind to take the ton of spinel, but, you know, I'm all about visual. I'm all about visual. So this has been given a coating, so it gives it almost a slightly pewter tone, I would say. Ever so slightly pewter. It's lovely, Sarah, though, isn't it? It's very, very stunning, isn't it, I think?
I think that's lovely. I just think it's just really emphasising the natural beauty of the gemstone and just giving it a little bit of... if you could even give out the spinel extra sparkle, it seems to be...
I know. How do you improve upon perfection? Well, they just did it. And I've said to you before as well, I am not the greatest fan, I'll be completely hands up into the air and confess, I'm not the greatest fan of messing around with beautiful gemstones. You know, sometimes just leave it as beautiful as it is. But I approve of this one.
Yeah,
There's not many coatings I approve of. Aurora Borealis is one of them, because I just think, what's not to love about Aurora Borealis? But this is really, really nice. And because you get that same clean luster from every surface of the gemstone. I don't know if I have any other black spinel, like a regular black spinel, to be able to kind of show you the difference between this coated one and what we would call a regular black spinel, an unadulterated, a kind of untouched black spinel. But the difference is really quite nice, actually. I think you'll like this. Now, we have made this a star buy for a reason, and there is your reason. $14.95. Now, we had this as a star buy. This is twice, actually, in 1 week I've had this as a star buy. And I say, why not? I say, why not? Look at that luster. Look at that luster. And that extra diamond coloured coating has just added something to it, hasn't it? It's just given it a little bit of a secondary tone, if you like, a new edge. I love it. It's almost sort of, from some views it's titanium, from some it's pewter, from some it's peacock pearl. There's so many different things. Have you ever seen this strand before, Sarah?
No, well, I've seen a similar one, but
Yeah.
not exactly this one. But I just think it's amazing because you just, as you say, from every angle you get something different.
Yeah.
And it will almost change depending on what you're going to put this with as well.
Yeah, completely.
Because that coating is going to pick up even more. So if you're going to put it with a blue, you're probably going to get some more of this sort of oil and water sort of feel through it.
Here's an idea. I've got coming up in this hour, hopefully, if we've got time, we have got this amber charm. Imagine that in the middle of a bracelet made of this spinel. Oh, doesn't that just, it's like this perfect sunrise or sunset, isn't it, when you add that? I'm going to keep that to one side because I think we might be doing that soon. Okay, we are going to break some rules again. Remember, we've got Supply Teacher Guide in tonight as our producer, which is brilliant, so we can break every single rule. $12.95. Brilliant. Snap it up. While you can, snap it up. You can call us 0800 644 655, or you can pop onto the web right now, jewellerymaker.com, WORU87, and add that to your order. It is delicious, and we have got lots and lots of people coming in for it already. I'm not surprised. Congratulations. I don't nag about baskets, by the way, as you know, because I seem to notice that you all behave on your own without being nagged in terms of baskets, but just bear in mind that you can check out that basket 100 times between now and midnight, and that postage never goes over $2.95. You could even try and, beat the system, and it won't let you. It will not let you pay more than $2.95 postage, even if you order one of everything that's on our website today at jewellerymaker.com. Have a look at this amber charm. Delicious. Lined in sterling silver, 16 by 9. I'm going to put it again with that coated black spinel for a second. Sorry, we're coming in for landing. Because I just think if you simply restrand that as a bracelet and just make that a lovely sort of center point in the bracelet, you got the most delicious kind of sunrise going on there. How ethereal would that combination be? Amazing. I love it. And actually it can't be easy to form amber around the outside of a tube, essentially, of sterling silver. That's no mean feat, Sarah, is it really? Think about it.
It isn't. I mean, the engineering that goes into getting that perfectly formed, getting the drill hole through the amber the right size, then getting the sterling silver absolutely fitted into there perfectly. It is a lot of thoughts gone into this.
Yeah, and they've somehow managed to facet the amber?
I know. Which you don't see.
How the heck do you do that? It shows you how stable the amber is, though, doesn't it?
Definitely, because you wouldn't be able to do this with sort of a piece that was, any sort of, amount of air bubbles or anything like that inside it. Because you'd see that through the faceting.
Right, can I just say for a second, and I don't want to name names at all, but if you go into any of those specialist stores that deal with charms, they might be able to do you an orange plastic bead wrapped around sterling silver, or they might be able to do orange glass wrapped around sterling silver. And, depending on where you go, you might, even in base metal charms, you might be paying more than that price just for the one charm. How many people own amber in this kind of way? How many people own amber? And it would only take the most simple of chains through that to make, obviously, a fabulous pendant. Actually, what you could do, he says, thinking out loud. Do you remember that star by chain that we had earlier that was open-ended? If I just put the two open ends either side, how would I bridge the gap to the middle, Sarah? What would be the best way of bridging the gap to the middle on this?
You could simply just put a jump ring through those, tiny little jump ring, and that would just allow that just to sit.
Oh, yeah, of course you could. You could hide all the gubbins underneath as well, couldn't you?
So you would have almost a seamless finish.
Perfect.
Or if you wanted to use a head pin and create an eye loop at either side.
Of course you could.
And maybe just use a smaller, maybe round honey amber on either side of the charm, just to fill that.
Yes, perfect.
And that will sit beautifully in that sterling silver core.
If you want the chain, by the way, details at the bottom of the screen there, £8.95. It's a 95 sterling silver box chain with a bolt ring clasp and the two open ends. As you can, I'm just holding the open ends next to the amber there, just to think, yeah, two together. So you bought two together, what, £19.95 plus £8.95, so less than £30. You could create something, you know, you'll have the findings to finish off, as Sarah suggested, in any number of different ways, I just know. Wowzers. That's incredible for £19.95. So many amber beauties tonight. So many amber beauties. Right, let's stay. Right. Wow. Okay, here's another new one for me. Another new one for me. I've never sold this in this way before. In fact, you'd ordinarily be looking at a specialist supplier for something like this. It's oh my wonder, this is beautiful. It's fossilized ammonite. I know. Not the kind of thing you find when walking along Whitby Beach. Do you know what I mean? How delicious is this? The back of these as well, by the way, is flat, has been flattened out. So you've got a flat surface to work from. So if you want to make these into pendants, or indeed, you know, centerpiece for a, centerpiece for a bracelet. I'll maybe take the smaller one for the bracelet. Centerpiece for a bracelet, maybe. I'm thinking one of those beautiful guest designer spectacular necklaces, though, for these, Sarah.
Yeah, definitely. Because you've got quite a wide surface area at the sides. If you wanted to do any wire wrapping, you've got something there to be able to sort of do an elaborate wire wrapping around it. We're not covering that central face where all the druzy is visible. Yeah, and
that's what distinguishes this between a shell that you find on the beach and you know, this is the fact that you have got that wonderful druzy, the crystalline formation inside that. Fossil ammonite. You've got a little slice of history there as well, haven't you? That's good. $24.99, and you've got 95, should I say, and you've got two of these. $21.95. Keeps getting better. Who could ask for anything more? That's really nice, actually, isn't it? And very, very workable. Laura, I think it was Laura Binding, had a kit with the two, you know, the hand-sized shells.
Oh yes.
They came back into. Oh no, they weren't. Yeah, were they in a kit? I can't remember whether they were in a kit or not. And Laura made a couple of decor pieces for the home, actually, with wire work holding them up like little bowls for the bathroom, actually for keeping your jewellery in. And actually, if you wanted to accessorise something like that, these would be amazing for those. And you think of the history inside those beautiful pieces. $21.95. Phenomenal, isn't it? It's great sometimes, actually. I mean, we see a lot of strands of stones, and quite nice. It's quite nice every now and again to see something like this that you just think, oh, you fascinate me. I might just have you just for looking at. I might just put you in a cabinet with a little light shining at it to shine at the druzy crystals. And I might just have that purely for my own pleasure.
That's it. I think these would go, you know, at home I've got a lit cabinet in the living room where I've got quite a sizable geode of amethyst. Yeah. And I think they would sit beautifully in there, and they catch the light beautifully as the geode does as well. So I think that would be really pretty. Gorgeous. Just to have those there.
Gorgeous. Right, let us move on. And we have Ooh, always need these, don't we? There's another essential coming your way right now, crimp tubes. Ooh, gold overlaid ones as well, very nice. Oh, and they are, if my eyes are not deceiving me, I think these are they round or are they hexagonal? Do you know, I wish my eyesight was what it used to be some years ago. Are they round? Yeah, they are. I don't know why from the outside they looked as if they weren't. Sorry, Leah, shall I separate one and we'll have a little squeeze at one on its own? We're going to a lowest ever price tag on these, by the way. Do you know, it's not helping me having them on a black mat either, is it? Oh, right, okay, well listen. Oh, hello. The chair, even the chair is so shocked. $4.95. And you've got 50 pieces. So stock up, stock up, stock up is what I would say to you. If you had this kind of deal, you know, in a supplies store, which is exactly what we are for you as jewellery makers. We are here as your kind of one-stop shop for supplies like this. You know you will always need crimp tubes. You know how valuable they are at just keeping things in place along a piece that you're making. $4.95. Hello, hello, hello. That's good. Now, what are we starting off the next hour with? Because we're a little bit behind here. We haven't got our previews here, so I don't know what's coming up at 8 o'clock. Sorry, we're a little bit unorganised tonight. We will start the next hour with some blue opals. Oh, now. How about this? Beautiful. Blue opals coming your way. A fabulous strand. Coming for you straight after the break. Now, we also have some Labradorites in the next hour as well. We'll do those at past, and they'll be our must-have. So I'll tell you what I'll do. What I'll do is I'll show you those when we get back. Apologies, we should have been a bit more organised. But I will, when we come back, I will show you your must-have for 8:30, which is going to be Labradorites tonight, and I can't wait. You know we love our Labradorites. In the meantime, stock up on your crimp tubes now. You're talking about 52 by 2s here, the round crimp tubes. 50 of them at the lowest ever price, $4.95. Congratulations, that's really, really good. And there are 50 of them to work with. You've always got to have them in place, haven't you? You've always got to have your ducks in a row, haven't you? Well done to everyone who got the kit in this hour as well. If you want a reminder of that fabulous kit, just go back via the website, WLGC18 for the Grecian Gateway kit, which was reduced and then reduced again, actually, and ended up at 20, what did it end up at? It went from 30 something down to £24.95, and then we went again. We did an illegal crash to £22.50, which is brilliant. So I'll let you stock up on your crimp tubes there. We'll pop off for 3 minutes and then we'll come back. We're just going to get a pina colada, Sarah and I now, just off to the bar and see what they're serving up. We'll see you back here in about 3.
Our brand new Get Started with Jewellery Maker page has been created to provide help and guidance for jewellery making newbies. If you need design suggestions, hints and tips, or help with perfecting your jewellery designs, we're here to help. Head over to facebook.com/getstartedwithjm, where our talented in-house designers are happy to answer your jewellery making questions, offer inspiration, and get you started in your jewellery making journey. Jewellery Maker. Create, wear, share.
If you have a question or a query for Jewellery Maker, then you can contact our call centre on 0800 644 655 and press option 2. Or alternatively, you can email help@jewellerymaker.com. When you place your first order with Jewellery Maker, we'll send you a free DVD and booklet to help you get started. The booklet is jam-packed full of information on gemstones, tools, threading, materials and findings. There are step-by-step instructions on how to make bracelets, earrings and necklaces, and the DVD includes easy-to-follow video tutorials. So what are you waiting for? Start your jewellery making journey today.
We're very excited to be launching the talented wirework extraordinaire Rachel Norris's first book entitled Mastering Wirework Jewellery. Rachel presents 15 beautiful wirework jewellery projects, with each design having detailed step-by-step instructions and photographs, plus templates and material lists. This book will really take your wirework to the next level. So make sure you join us on Saturday the 17th for the exclusive UK launch on Jewellery Maker.
Did you know when you book on a Jewellery Maker workshop, you are given exclusive access to our Jewellery Maker shop? You can browse through special items and offers, be privy to selected discounts and deals that you can't get at any other time. Shop whilst you learn and grab yourself some amazing offers. For more information on workshops and available dates, contact our call centre.
Hello everyone, it's Star by Time. Fortunately, the bar had, the shutters were up on the bar, Sarah, weren't they?
Oh, I know.
That's it, we were too late. Crikey. You know why? Because they expected us to be outside broadcast, Canberra Sands. They didn't expect us to be here. So they closed the shutters early tonight. Oh, that's no good, is it? Never mind. I know, rubbish. Come in here again. Oh no, I am actually tomorrow. Tomorrow is my last opportunity to convert Deb Rudge to being an Elton John fan. I tell you what, it's tough work.
Yeah.
She's as stubborn as a mule, let me tell you, when it comes to Elton John. She refuses to like him or any of his music.
That was unfortunate. I was away, but he played at a stadium like about 15 minutes walk from my house.
Really?
Last weekend, yes. But I was away. I knew I was going to be away, so I didn't get a ticket.
Darn it.
I know.
We should have got tickets for Deb Rudge as well. She'd have loved it. She's in for a treat tomorrow night, though, I tell you. Hey, can't wait. Right, in the meantime, I have got gorgeous blue opal. I'm just trying to find my must-have, so we've put it somewhere, but for the life of me, we can't remember where. It's somewhere in the building. All fine. We will locate it. We better anyway, because it's Labradorite. It's delicious. It's somewhere. And we've got some Botswana agate somewhere. Almost Starbuy seem to have disappeared. Anyway, never mind, we'll sort that out. In the meantime, how about a little bit of African blue opal? Do you know, it was only probably, Sarah, about 2 years ago that I discovered there was such a thing as blue opal. I had not seen it, and I saw a parcel of pieces that were from, I think, Oregon in America, actually. And there's Peruvian blue as well, isn't there? Mm-hmm. And oh my word, it's such a lovely colour. It's like the finest porcelain that you've ever seen. But Mother Nature had got there long before Wedgwood, Royal Dalton or anybody else. Look at this.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Glorious. I just adore it. And again, it's going to make some fabulous summer pieces for you, without a doubt. And even as a gent, I would say, a couple of well-placed blue opal beads amongst something else, maybe some jasper rounds, or maybe some hematite rounds, or even some black spinel, I have to say. Oh, we had a strand a couple of weeks ago of some little square slices of Ethiopian opal. One of these in the centre of that.
Oh yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. I love it. Now, the only thing with blue opal I have to say to you right now is it is in extremely short supply. Even if you feel like every other day you see a strand at JM, remember, that's an anomaly, if you like, because we will get a parcel of strands, be it rounds or drops or nuggets or chips or whatever it may be. We'll get all of those arrive in one parcel at a time because that's the way we bought it. We went to, you know, whoever it was who had the gemstone for sale, and we said, right, okay, we'll have X number of strands of rounds and X number of pieces of this and some of this, some cabochons, this, that and the other. And so they will arrive on air pretty much all within the same time scale. So within 4 weeks, you might think, hang on a minute, they're saying that that's really rare, but I'm seeing day after day after day, another strand, another strand, another strand, another strand. But that might actually in total be a very, very small parcel, and then you may not see any again. You might have a glut of 3 or 4 months where you think, remember that, there was that time where every day they had a strand and then it just stopped. That will happen with blue opal, without a doubt. And I say that without, I don't know any of the buyers here at all. I haven't had that opportunity yet because I've just been here. Remember the man at the end of the list when they're so desperate no one can do the shift. I get the call. So I'm not here very often, but I know without knowing any of the buyers whatsoever that is the case. It is one of those, oh, now hang on, guy. Now listen, there is a point at which I have to say, I know you're our supply teacher producer tonight and you're not here all the time, but you know that this is one of those gemstones that I've just been talking about, the rarity of it. And he's just walked out of the gallery, and that's it. Just left us, Sarah, and put the price down to $7.95. Well, there's a report card coming there. Let me tell you, $7.95. I've sold blue opal pieces in the past in finished jewellery, and I know small, tiny carat weights sell for quite considerable price tags. I've got to caveat what I'm about to say by saying it's in my own personal opinion, but I think it would take one of those rounds to more than return that $7.95 if you're selling your jewellery, even if you were literally putting it on a little piece of wildfire and putting a knot in the back of it. Do you know what? It's true, isn't it, Sarah? It's so simple.
I mean, a pair of blue opal earrings, if you could find them, which I don't think I've ever seen blue opal on the high street.
The high street won't let you have blue opal. You don't know what it is.
Those specialist family jewellery establishments that
Yes.
might specialise in rarer gemstones.
Yes.
I've never seen a blue opal out there. But a pair of those smaller ones in a pair of earrings, you could be charging, I don't know, £20 in sterling silver, maybe £15–20 easily, because you've got the name opal with that.
Yeah.
It's unusual, and it's an educational piece for a lot of people who love opal, that it comes in different colours. For me, it was always an eye-opener when I found out that could get blue opal. I was like,
I know.
I didn't even know this existed, and I've been buying opals for probably 20 years.
Absolutely. And most people, I think, in most people's consciousness, they would have seen, whenever you say the word opal, people see white.
Yes.
That's all they see. White with some colour play, a little bit if we're lucky, thank you. And then Ethiopia came along, and it was like a great big compendium of coloured pencils arrived.
Yes.
In the post, do you know what I mean? In terms of what it had to offer, every colour under the sun. And then some of the solid opals started coming out. Fire opal, of course, gave you some colour in a different direction, gave you an orange. And also, you can buy pink opal as well, can't you? Which is lovely, soft baby pink, but again with that solid kind of porcelain kind of look to it. And blue opal is just beautiful because these look like ceramic beads, don't they, to all intents and purposes?
They do, but for me, you've got all of that history coming from Mother Earth, from being created, and then you've got the whole process of getting it, and then it being colour matched perfectly for you got on that strand. And I just think, for me, this is just so beautiful. And I was very fortunate when I was probably about 25 to get a very pale blue opal ring, but I'd never seen one before. And it was like the clear or the white coated opal, but it was very pale blue.
Yeah. Beautiful. Margaret in Essex, congratulations. Viv in Essex as well. Patricia in Essex, very popular in Essex, this strand, I see. Fabulous. Well done, you. Just while I get the opportunity, let me have a little sneaky peek at our must-have, which is beautiful peacock freshwater pearls in a strand. Now, we are going to have an apology price tag for that. Coming up for you at 8:30, because I mentioned that the must-have was going to be Labradorite. For some reason, I don't know what's happened. don't know what's happened, but we're going to make that our must-have tomorrow evening. Apologies for technical reasons beyond our control. We can't do it. Can't find it, if truth be told. But anyway, never mind. It means we get to do an apology price on this. Now, I'm going to open our must-have up to pre-orders right now for you. So the code on this one is YKP058. YKP058. And you can pre-order that right now. Any hint on price tag, Guy, at this stage? Okay, very, very good price tag. Very, very good price tag. I'm not going to hint at it just yet. I'm going to leave it as a surprise, actually. I will leave it as a surprise for you. Right, okay, let's do box number 2 right now, which gives us a huge amber cabochon set into a ready-made pendant for you, which is amazing. Look at that. That's a massive marquise of cognac amber. Gorgeous tones to it, and again, little flecks of, you know, what were the air bubbles inside the amber that have been quench crackled, which is where they... Now, I'm trying to remember which way around this. Do they drop it into hot liquid and then put it in the freezer, or is it the other way around? Yeah, it must be that way around, mustn't it? The hot water expands the little air bubbles, and then they pop it straight into a very, very cold solution, which makes the little air bubbles go like that. It's a very specific sound, I've decided. And that's what gives the amber that wonderful visual little, almost like, it's difficult to describe sometimes, Sarah, isn't it? It's almost like little
flecks,
little wings.
little... It's almost like flecks of sort of gold plate or gold, you know, the gold... when they gold foil things, it's almost like you've got those little sort of flecks.
Yes, you're right. Yes, when you get in some drinks, so I've heard, so my drinking friends tell me, in some bottles of is it vodka or is it that you can
schnapps
get? You can get schnapps. That's it.
Yeah.
But you can get little gold pieces that float around inside it. Sometimes it's real gold leaf as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's a little bit like that. I wouldn't know, of course. I'm still with my Tommy Tippy cup and just my glass of milk of an evening, naturally. $17.95. That's a big piece of amber there. If you believe that, you believe anything. $17.95, and there's a lot of silver with that as well. Again, part of this recent find from the family business in, oh, what's that word again? Gdansk. That's really not easy to say, is it? I mean, I talk about cruise holidays elsewhere, and there's some weird and wonderful names that come up, especially when you get a cruise around Iceland, let me tell you, and Norway. There's some really strange places, but that's a tongue twister and a half to get your mouth around, isn't it? Anyway, let's just say Poland, shall we, where we are sourcing our Baltic amber from. The great thing about our pricing for Baltic amber is it doesn't seem to take into account the silver. We don't list silver gram weights because we're actually working with a family business in Poland who are doing all of the silver work for us as well, but not necessarily specifying the silver, and I don't think that's being factored into our pricing.
I don't think so
Which is good news for you. It will change in the future, I think, as we do business with them again. I think that will change. It's got to be factored in, hasn't it? I think it's got to be a little bit of a, I'm not going to say faux pas, but, you know, one of those things that commercially should be factored into the, because if you just had a simple wildfire or fireland or an S-long cord hanging off of this in a store, that would make it 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds potentially, depending on where you're buying. Yes? Easy. Easy. The colours of this garland behind that are just totally wrong for amber, aren't they? Look at that. It's delicious. Oh, Mermaid in Chelsea, says Susan in Cambridgeshire. Yes, we're changing the names of songs and TV programmes and films to make them fit, because today is officially Beach Day. I know we've toned it down to summer sizzlers since actually looking out the window and seeing the hogwash of a weather day that it is today. It's hardly the beach. We were all meant to be doing a live OB from Canberra Sands, but as soon as we got sand in our sandwiches, that was it. We were like, no, back to the studio. Come on, let's go back. We're not doing this. Sandwiches. Got sand in my sandwiches. And it was salt beef. Salt beef and sand in your sandwiches. That's just wrong, isn't it? CFG Y80 at $17.95. Those comments were for entertainment purposes only, by the way. Let's go to number 4, shall we? Oh, hello. Oh, this is nice. Now I've got to try and find a way. This is really difficult. This is one of those where it's really difficult to show you everything that is here, because you are looking at 6 pieces of amber. Well, there's 3 different colours, you see. That's the problem, Leah. We've got 3 different colours. I'll start with the most unusual, the colour that you're least likely to expect to see, which is the rarest of the 3 colours, actually, I do believe. The green amber is rarer than the cognac and the lemon amber. It occurs far less frequently. I say occurs far less frequently, you know what I mean. We're talking about amber that is hundreds of millions of years old. We're at the mercy of what is there. I know, I'm not sure about the business that we're dealing with in Poland itself, but I know recovering amber from the floor of the Baltic Sea is no mean feat. In fact, it used to be divers that used to go down to it, but obviously you can only dive so far, so they were quite limited of what they could recover, you know, diving for it. And of course, as a diver, there's only so much you can carry to bring back up, because of course you need to be able to get back up without somebody dragging you up in some way. Hang on, my bag's too heavy. I'm stuck down here. You've got 3 different varieties of amber here. So you've got 2 connectors of the green amber, 2 connectors of the cognac, and you've got 2 connectors in this lemon amber as well. And I have to say, this is one of the lightest lemon tones I've seen. It's just barely a wisp of colour. You can see it's almost transparent. It's like a lemon citrine colour. I haven't seen lemon amber that high actually in its colour before.
No, because normally you either get it sort of an opaque lemon colour.
Yes.
So it's quite unusual to get it this clear as well.
Yeah, it's nice. It's far too low. I'm sorry, it's an on and gone, this one. We only have 5 opportunities. Remember, you're getting 6 of these connectors as well. So 2 in that lovely soft lemon yellow, 2 in that fabulous deep rich mossy green. It reminds me, actually, that colour of green reminds me of moss agate, if you've ever seen that here, which is the most beautiful, beautiful colour. I can't believe you're getting all 6 of those. I mean, literally end to end. Obviously, you wouldn't put well, maybe you might put the pairs together, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have they're almost a heart shape, these, aren't they? They're almost a heart shape, not quite. They haven't got the cleft at the top. So they're like a, or have they? They're sort of hearts, aren't they? Stylized hearts. But even if you lay them end to end, you know, that's the centre of a bracelet sorted for you straight away. I quite fancy that you would.
I'd be tempted to just put a tiny little bit of chainmail in between each one, and then you'd have a
Yeah.
full wrap round bracelet.
Yeah.
Or use these to make 3 pairs of earrings.
I was just saying, I'm not sure whether I would let all 6 of those pieces go to one piece of jewellery. Do you know what I mean? It feels a little bit indulgent.
It does.
And it also feels like the retail price would have to be sufficiently high as well. Sorry, which number, Guy? Box 3. Oh, delicious. Delicious. Oh, Guy, you can throw amber at me all night long. I don't mind. I love it. Beautiful. He said this might be the last opportunity tonight. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just a simple pear piece of amber. Of course, we don't, you know that we don't denote carat weights to amber because technically it's not a gemstone. In fact, no one really knows how to refer to it, do they? Amber is amber is amber, and that's it. No carat weights. It's beautiful. It's difficult to describe, and there's sort of many, many differing opinions on what it actually is.
I think if you call it an organic.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
a bit easier that way, because it was not made by sort of a chemical reaction in the
No.
earth. It was made by an
Yes,
organic sort of process. If you
Yeah,
like.
it was external to that. It wasn't
Yes.
part of the tectonic movements or anything like that. It was as a result of many things that happened. It's a fascinating story. I once, when I was on a cruise ship, actually went to a presentation all about the formation of amber and the story of it, and it's fascinating. And if you get the chance, do go and do a little bit of homework, because actually knowing that, forgive me, Michael, for just a second, I'm just going to turn that round to the side just so you can see the profile. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. And it's under £10. imagine, you know, again, a very, very simple sterling silver chain. You have got the loop top and bottom here. So again, that could be centerpiece maybe for a bracelet. Possibly. Do you think? Centerpiece, you know, it only needs to be a very, very, maybe a double length of chain. So you're going round twice with some chain and having that in the middle. You've got opportunities as well. If you wanted to get in with your 0.25, you've got opportunities under the front of that amber. It's a little difficult to see, I know, but there is actually, sorry, poor old Michael, I'm making him do gymnastics on the camera here, sorry. There you go, can you see there? You can get in obviously with the loop at the bottom, but even under the amber at the front there, you can get in with your 0.25. I dare say a larger gauge than that actually of wire, and add something to that. Desmond Deck Chair, the Israelite. Sally, I like it. That's good. Desmond Deck Chair. In fact, you could call me that tonight, couldn't you? Because I, you know, almost look like a designer deck chair. Now, Sally, you have prompted with your star joke there, Guy to press another button, which is the one that makes the price go even lower. So we're liking that. We're liking that. We're going to take this a little bit lower. 10% straight off, just for Desmond Deck Chair. So text in your changing the name of a song or a film or a TV series to make it fit the beach theme of today, or anything to do with summer. Let's open it up. Could be the beach, could be summer. Like I had an idea earlier, instead of Tony Christie's Show Me the Way to Amarillo, show me the way to Llandudno. Or Porthcurno, that would work even more. It's a place in Cornwall. Yeah, so it could be somewhere ending in an O, maybe. It's up to you. Listen, you make it up as you go along. I don't mind. Text in, and it might get you a price reduction on the item we're showing. Who can say? I can't guarantee that, but let's see what happens. So you text JM Studio to 60777, and it is a standard text message rate, by the way. So remember to start your message with JM Studio, or who knows where it goes. There'll be somebody in an office somewhere seeing on a screen these texts coming up. Show me the way to... What? Exactly. Desmond Deck Chair? What's that all about? Right, our must-have is only 5 minutes away. It is black pearls. In fact, can I say they're not black pearls? These are peacock pearls. We'll denote them as black pearls. I always have this little tiny dispute with how we describe versus what they actually are. Black pearls are a lot blacker than this, of course, closer to that Tahitian colour. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, deep peacock pearl. Now, that has an apology price coming with it as well, because it's not what was intended to be the must-have. Get in. We like that. What's that all about? What's that all about? I've never pulled a pint in my life. Not once. Sorry, which one? 13. Oh, okay. A gemstone you hardly ever see available to buy outside of completed finished jewellery. Lucky you. And there are so many rounds on this strand, it's untrue. Oh my crikey. Okay, that didn't even need a joke, that one either, did it, for its reduction?
It didn't.
Okay, I'm not allowed, there are certain things that I'm not allowed to say on TV, but I can get round it with a caveat. So I'm not allowed to say this at all. I'm not allowed to say that this is a giveaway price for this, because it's clearly not a giveaway. There is a price on your screen. But if you know kunzite and you know the value of this gemstone, you know what I'm hinting at. If this needs my help, then I will need to come and show you where your front door is tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And I've got a busy day tomorrow, I have to say. I'm hunting for Elton John memorabilia for Deb Rudge tomorrow. I found something, so there will definitely be something. I'm convinced turning her into a fan, because you know she is my TV wife for the week, Sarah, because tomorrow we'll be on show number 4 of 4 within a week.
Oh wow!
So it's been like we've been joined at the hip for the week.
So I've spent a lot of that week trying to turn her into an Elton John fan for no particular reason. It was only because she said, "Oh, I don't like Elton John," and that started my brain off. And I was like, "Well, how can you can't just say that. It's outrageous." So she said she was stubborn, and I think I might, in her fandom of Elton John, I might just be able to break that in her tomorrow. Fingers crossed, in a nice way, of course. And if not, I've said that's it. The TV marriage is off. I'll have to have a forced separation. So anyway, more of that tomorrow evening. You don't mind a bit of Elton John though, do you, Sarah?
No.
Good, that's all right. Do you have any albums?
I've probably got some of his songs somewhere.
Yeah?
We're all electronic now, so
Yeah,
most of the
true.
albums are tucked away.
I'm going backwards. I'm building up a vinyl collection now. Love vinyl, but it's all the old stuff. I don't want anything modern. Don't want anything this banging and crashing stuff that the kids dance to now. I want some good old proper music. Abalone. Remember last week we had massive full abalone shells as the deal of the day. Forget which day, but one day last week had a big. If you're making pieces with those, maybe they've arrived by now. If you ordered those, because I'm sure it was the best part of the early last week. Here you have gorgeous little abalone sandwiches almost. Don't eat them obviously, but they're very tasty. Look at that. Don't say ice cream, Mike. Do you know I did go to bed quite late last night. And the last thing I did when I was turning off all the lights in the kitchen is I suddenly remembered that there was a multi-pack of I'm going to just come out and say Magnum. Double caramel in the freezer, and there were still 3 of the 4 remaining, and I very nearly, and then I looked at the clock and thought, you ridiculous person, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, go to bed. So I sent myself to bed. There's some strawberry cornettos in there as well. Other ice cream is available, I should say. I don't know why there's so much. We had well, you know why, we had some of the family visit a couple of weekends ago, and there were lots of children, so with lots of children you need lots of ice cream. So I've got a couple of big posh tubs of something or other, and these multi-packs of, you know, good old Magnums, which I managed to keep some of. That's a rarity when you've got kids around, isn't it?
It is.
Actually, I was just thinking, I've never had an abalone shell piece of jewellery ever. Would it work? Let me make myself a little bracelet. What do you think? Does that work? Do you think I would alternate with something else for a guy? Yeah, it's a bit surfer dude, isn't it?
I can see this working, you know, if you were to macrame it with some leather or something like that, just to give it that softer feel as well.
Yeah.
So you've got that sort of shell and then the soft feel for the leather, and that takes you down that sort of surf essence.
Could you... Are you talking about in between?
So sort of
or
like
around?
a square knot in between, and then taking the threads around the outside of the oval.
Just to give it like a bezel of leather.
Yes.
It's not easy to say, is it? Bezel of leather. Yeah, that would kind of work. It doesn't look wrong though, does it?
It looks good with your shirt as well.
Yeah, it
It's got all
does.
sort of
I've made
green
so
tones.
many discoveries in this studio over the last few weeks. Gemstones that ordinarily I would not have touched with somebody else's barge pole as a guy. You could actually make cufflinks out of these as well, couldn't you?
Cufflinks look beautiful.
Cufflink
with these.
tops.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. Look at that. It looks like amylite, doesn't it, that one? I've got my finger on. Beautiful. But listen, I can't stay with this all night. It's very, very popular, and I'm not surprised as well at $8.95. That's a really unusual way to be able to buy abalone. Indeed, that's very, very nice. Indeed. Do you know what? Make sure to remind me that before we get to the top of the hour, there's a little ring mount in there and a cabochon of star sapphire it looks like. But we'll do that in a wee while. But not yet. Not yet. Look at the time. It's time for this. You know, in half an hour, by the way, Sarah is going to sprinkle us with some Moroccan spice. Aren't you?
Of mine.
You are. Well, in your wonderful creations, you are.
Oh yes, in the kit.
You are. You've got some lovely colours to work with as well.
Colours.
Nice. Should we have a quick look, actually? Sorry. I know I should be doing one thing at a time. Can't pay attention, but look. Beautiful, isn't it? Swarovski and seed beads and lots of colour coming your way at 9 o'clock in the Moroccan Spice kit. But right now it is today's must-have, black pearls. Black freshwater cultured potato pearls, 9 by 7 millimetres. These are big pearls to work with. 9 by 7 millimetres. I'm torn. For me, they are halfway between a black pearl and a peacock pearl. Because for me, a black pearl is blacker. It has a darker underbelly of colour, if you like, and this is a little more, for me, looking at that light box shot and looking at what I see in my hand here, is a little more the kind of colour of an aubergine skin, a little more, slightly less purple than that. You see all the different colours coming through. If you look at these ones down here as well, all the blues and the greens and the golds. There's no doubt about this being an absolutely stunning strand of natural pearls. And listen, we say this all of the time. You can buy, we have shell pearls ourselves if you want them, which are essentially wannabe pearls with an element of Mother Nature. You can go out and buy plastic beads for tuppence halfpenny out on the high street, but they don't have the weight, they don't have the gravity, they don't have those secondary colours coming through, and they don't quite feel as special, because a real pearl, when they land on the skin, there's that instant cool weight to them, and they warm up with you. They are as one with Mother Nature, and there's nothing better. There's nothing better than wearing incredible genuine gemstones. Let me just have a little count up on this strand, because of course it will be reflected in the price tag. Plus we've got an apology price tag coming. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23 times 2, 40, mid-40s. Mid-40s. Well, I know I was in Gibraltar a few weeks ago, and now the reason I'm saying Gibraltar as opposed to, you know, Cardiff or Leamington Spa is that Gibraltar's duty-free, isn't it? So, lots of cruises come in on a weekly basis, and that's the reason they go. That's the reason passengers want to go into Gibraltar, because down that main street it's all duty-free, which is amazing. And in Gibraltar, only a few weeks ago, I was looking in the window of a jeweller and I was seeing quite small, don't know if they were real pearls or not, because there was a huge variety of different colours. Some of them were dyed, because they were like electric blue and whatever. I thought, there's not a natural pearl that comes in that colour, so they were dyed pearls, and whether they were real or not, I don't know. And a pair of simple stud earrings, just literally with the post in the back and the butterfly, were around about, I think it was $17.99 for a pair. The reason I tell you that is, think how many pairs we counted up, mid-40s in terms of numbers of pearls on this strand. That's why I want you to think about that number. So the price we were meant to, outside of a must-have, outside of, this is actually a substitute must-have, because truth be told, we couldn't find the actual must-have. We don't know what has happened to it. We've searched high, low, left, right, up, down. Who knows? So that's coming tomorrow. So the price we were going to bring this to was £15.95. But as an apology, and guys had to make a management call on this one to get this even lower, we're going to slice that price right down the middle, like it were a real potato, straight down the middle, £7.95. And partly that is to say, we're sorry. We're very sorry. We're not sorry that that is the price that it is, but we're very, very sorry. We talked about a Labradorite must-have. Luckily, we didn't see it because we never found it. £7.95. Here are people renaming songs or films to suit the beach theme today. Sally, the 3 degrees. When will I seaweed you again? I like it. I like it. Pink Floyd, Fish You Were Here. I like it. Very good, Sally. And another one from Sally as well. Motorhead, Ace of Buckets and Spades. I like it. Very, very good. So you can change the name of a song or a film or a TV title to make it fit today's summer sizzlers stroke beach day theme. We would love to hear from you. Now, in the meantime, snap up this strand, because this is complete apology price tag. It's half the price tag it should be. $15.95 is where it should be. $7.95 completely and utterly. Now they're just $7.95 and you can grab a couple, Sarah. What are you thinking?
Ooh, do you know, I'm thinking that I would probably make a double row bracelet from that, and use just some of, make some little spaces, just a little figure of eights of sterling silver wire to hold that bar, so I'd have that double row. I think that would look really lovely in these, because you're going to see all that different colours of light, and maybe just put up in maybe a small gemstone in between. But I mean, you can pick lots of different colours to go in there because of the tones you've got running through here. But I think maybe something like a peridot, just to give that real pop of colour in between them.
They are phenomenal. I tell you what I would do, and I don't yet have the skill to do it, but because obviously they are centre drilled and individually knotted, I'd like to take them completely and utterly, take the silver wire in and create a round coil on the front of the pearl, something really nice and decorative, and obviously then you'd have to make a wrap loop on either side. Yep. Just so you could connect them to something else. Yes. I love that as an idea, and I think that would be really nice to try as well as a trainee, as I am very much a trainee jewellery maker, completely and utterly. I'd love to do that. Sarah in Essex. Hello, Sarah. Hi all, I'm watching the show whilst I'm on a holiday in Florida. Oh, delete that one. Just delete that one. No, don't delete it. Sarah, lovely, lovely person you are. The weather is not much better here. Solid rain and thunderstorms for the last few days. Oh, actually, we can keep. Don't delete that message. Poor Sarah. Aww. Well, I tell you what. It's rubbish here. And I'm so sorry, because you imagine going to Florida and you just imagine it being. Yeah. Don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Amazing.
The weather we're getting is coming on the jet stream from there. So.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, I hope I didn't sell you the holiday. I'd have a word with that man. Whoever sold you that holiday. Excuse me. I wanted better weather. Where are we in now? Is it June already, isn't it?
June, yeah.
Oh, of course it's June, isn't it? How could we not know it's June at the moment? Oh, roll on next week, eh? You'd expect, wouldn't you, in that part of the book? But you're right, we get our weather from there, don't we? Oh, by the way, if you're looking at this price tag and thinking, is Jewellery Maker going out of business tonight at 10 o'clock? No, we're just, this is an apology price tag for this black pearl strand, because the actual must-have that we had, maybe it's behind, maybe it's not behind one of these fan things, is it? No, it's not there. We have looked high and low, so we're going to postpone it to tomorrow night's show with De Bruges at 8:30. It was lots and lots of lovely Labradorite. Well done, Margaret, Isabel, Leslie, and these are just a few of the names coming through, actually. To Boson in London, Helen, Amanda, Paula, Alison, Jane has got a couple of these as well. David, I've got so many names on my list. It's going off the screen. Pat in Yorkshire, well done, congratulations. God's Own County. Came from Ripon this morning. It was like a force 10 gale. Oh, it was horrendous. You know when you open your door and you think, oh, come on. All my roses are just starting to bloom and they're getting their heads knocked off by the rain.
I know, it's
not
terrible.
Good. Not good. Oh, sorry, you can carry on adding those to your order, by the way. Carry on adding. Now. Okay. Oh, now what are these? Okay. Have a little, oh, actually, I'll put them on a lighter base, forgive me. Have a little look at these. Now, because of their context, as in 5 beads, you heard me, I had to sort of ask Guy, what are these then? Because I'd never seen them outside of a full strand before. They are Australian mookaite. Oh my word. And you've got, Guy has just asked me to prepare you for the fact that when the numbers roll on this, and you can, I guess, see it on the web already, I don't know, that this will be the smallest price you have seen on the whole show this evening. They are half drilled, 8mm round, and you've got 5 of them with this wonderful, beautiful faceting. Every one will be completely and utterly unique, of course, because Mookaite has a mixture of these sort of deep plum skin tones, caramels, lattes, toffees, everything going on. It's a wild gemstone, and one of the few gemstones that comes out of Australia. Actually, there aren't that many, bar the opals, of course. Oh, hello, hello. $2.95, so it's the smallest number. 5 fabulous beads there, 17 carats of Mookaite. I'm thinking if you've got a matching pair, and I would say in this 5, that one and that one are a nice little match. And of course, obviously, these two sort of more mustardy colour ones are a nice match as well. Got to be for earrings, doesn't it, Sarah, to show them off to their finest?
That's it. So you can make earrings from those, but I mean, each one of those could be a pendant as well. And we've got half-drilled pendant bails, which we've had on the show before, and may still be some on the website somewhere. But also we do ring mounts for half-drilled.
Yes, we do.
Gemstones.
Yes, where you can hypo-cement them on, screw them on or whatever. And we have got some, well, I say we have. There was some the other day. Have a look on the website, do a little search for that hypo-cement, because there's a rumour that there might be some around. I can't confirm, but you'll have to have a little search and see. But that is the bonding to have, isn't it?
Oh yes, definitely.
I mean, the clue's in the name, really, isn't it? Well done. $2.95, ridiculous price. Do you know how expensive it is to be on air for a channel for 1 hour? And if you did, let's. Oh, okay. Let's go for number 8. Now, I've got a ring mount for you now. I mentioned it earlier. We've got a ring mount for you. Ready to... This is right up my street, definitely, because this, again, very easy way for you to become a jewellery maker. Oh, we're not doing it now. It's... Star by in 5 minutes, right? Okay, so it's a black star diopside and a ring mount. Lovely. In fact, I've got 2 opportunities, so if that's really, really popular, I have another option as well. So, can we do the... Well, I was going to say 11, because unless I'm mistaken... Look at this. This is perfect for a day like today. Biwa pearls. They're so elusive. How many times do you must, as a jewellery maker, Sarah, there are people that just hanker after these, and they just don't know how to get hold of them, do they?
That's it. I mean, you show people these. If you've ever, found that your customers show them these, they say, they can't be pearls. I've never seen pearls like that. And then when they do, they can't get enough of them. Yeah. Because they're so beautiful and organic in their nature. They've got so much luster coming from all of those irregular surface areas that they're just really drawn to them. And it's one of those ones that, again, you never see out in the sort of the marketplace. You very rarely see this shape of pearl. And if you do, the price tags that are attached to them.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm just going to lift this up to my mic a second. If everyone just takes a little deep breath, listen. Isn't that fabulous? I love it. I love that, and the feel of them. Seriously, if you have a piece of jewellery with them in, you will forever be interacting with them, touching them, feeling their wonderful texture and the surface, and you're right, Sarah, as well. It's all about the luster, isn't it? Because they have such a massive surface area. I mean, if you compare it to the surface area of, and I'm just going to take that black pearl strand as an example. If you think about the average surface area that is seen when you're wearing it, you're seeing pretty much the top dome, aren't you? Your top side of a pearl, pretty much. You're not seeing 360 degrees or its totality. But I love that word, totality. But with these, let's see. Let's have a little shine of a light. Well, let's get a battery for that first. Let's not worry about that. Got a little torch there, but it's gone flat. Never mind. Look at the colours. Blues, peacocks, pinks, golds. And you know, I mean, you can simply restrand with Biwa pearls, or you can use them alternating with something else. In fact, they would alternate really nicely, and of course, a natural bedfellow would be those peacock pearls or the black pearls. But you could stay in the same sort of family area and use something like an abalone or a power shell. You know, something like that. Beautiful. That would work really nicely, wouldn't it? Just to add a little bit of colour.
Well,
do you know what you could do as well? Ethiopian opal.
Oh, yes.
We had some. We had a strand of over the last 7 days. We had a strand of wheels.
Ooh, wow.
Imagine a set of 3 Ethiopian opal wheels in between some biwa. You wouldn't know which to look at first, would you?
You wouldn't, and I think that's sort of a show-stopping piece of jewellery. You know, you're going to walk into the room and people are going to say, "Wow!" You know, it's going to be I always look at these and think, with this sort of colour palette, it's very sort of mother of the bride as well.
Yeah.
Real feature piece of jewellery for that sort of occasion,
Yeah.
or you know, summer balls and sort of events, if you like, days of the races, or down by the river watching the boats go by.
Yeah, superb. Yeah, down in is it Port Banús? That's where everyone has their yachts, isn't it? That's that kind of place you want to go to, I believe. I've never been. Have a little look. Now remember we had kunzite earlier. This is a different strand, Guy, yes? Okay. Are you going to do as silly a thing as you did last time with the kunzite? This is the one where you you dropped the price and then left the gallery, but had dropped the price to the wrong price. But never mind, these things happen. These are larger rounds, much larger rounds actually. 8mm round, 105 carats on this 18cm strand. These are delicious in terms of their quality as well. Let's see how low we can go. £84 and 95 pence. Okay, I think we might move on. For reasons that I'm sure have just become apparent on your screen. Doesn't quite make sense, does it? Okay, anyway, at least we know. So, we have next a ring mount. Forget that happened. Right, edit that out when it goes on the YouTube series. Just cut that bit out. Didn't happen. No, don't worry, it's fine. We've got a ring mount for you now. It does come with a gemstone as well, which is brilliant. Oh yes, and we're going to make it one of these. Okay, now this is really interesting. I'm quite glad that we've got this actually, because having been over to India and seen where they hand prong set sterling silver jewellery, I know the methods that they use, and I know that the tools that they use as well. So what they would do is that they would open up those prongs as far as you. Well, not as far as you can. I'm doing this by hand, and Sarah's looking at me as if to say, "What are you doing, you silly boy?" But they would place the stone, and they would make sure that the stone is sitting, you know, flush to the setting itself, and then they would ordinarily the prongs would be a little bit longer. These have been already. They have been shortened already, but they would use a cup end drill to actually round off the claws. Obviously, they take the claws in first around the stone. Now, for me as a layperson, in this respect, Sarah, what would I do?
So we have in the past, and I don't know if they're on the website, had a prong setting or a gem setting toolkit, which has got a tool which has got a groove in it. Okay. And that sits on the prong, and then you can move that over. and it also has a clamp which will hold the shank of the
mount.
ring.
Yeah.
Yes. So that stays nice and stable for you, and then you can either put that into a vise, or you can, as I've done, actually hold that clamp just between your knees.
Yes.
Almost.
Because you need to be careful the sequence of coming in with the claws, because you almost, on this, if you have a look at this, you almost, and this is purely based on what I've seen from people making jewellery, is you would come in at opposite corners first.
Yes.
But very slowly and carefully, and then the other two to make sure that the gemstone stays.
That's it.
Behaves and stays where it should do.
So you want to do sort of
thank you, Tommy.
12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, if you like, and then 3 and then 9 o'clock. And just do it in small movements. You don't want to try and capture it all in one go. You want to do it in very small movements to capture the gemstone.
Well, it's all gone dark.
Ooh.
It's gone dark. I'm just going to try and show you the asterism. Now, it's very difficult to see an asterism in a studio because obviously we have multiple sources of light. So I'm actually using a mobile phone at the moment with its own sort of light to try and give you. Actually, it might be easier if I just hold the gemstone actually on its own, so we can see the optical properties of the gemstone. It's called a black star diopside, and they're a fascinating gemstone. They really are. Right. Let's have a little look. Okay, there you go. You can see on the right hand side of the gemstone. Let me see if I can tilt that around to move the asterism to the star. So ignore the big white light on the left of the stone. What we're looking at is that asterism or the star effect on the right hand side of the stone, and that's caused by a little tiny interruption at the back of the stone, which is allowing the light to then sort of come back up into we've got a 4-pointed star there, sometimes it's a 6-pointed star, it depends, and obviously we're in very artificial conditions here. It's easier to see it sort of in daylight really. Remember the bulk of this, if you like, is not merely just the 8-carat stone that we have there, but you're also getting the sterling silver mount as well, with over 4 grams of sterling silver. That's superb, isn't it? Oh, okay, right. Mike's just having a little record, so we can come back to that and then see the mount on the ring. Thank you, darling Leah. Bless you. Right, I'm just going to pop that back into the mount, and then we can sort of see. And again, there are quite a few mounts available, I do believe. In fact, actually, those prongs need opening up just a little bit, and I don't want to force the stone, but I want to try and give you an overall impression of what the finished ring could look like. But obviously, the prongs aren't closed up yet. But you get an idea of wow, that's got quite some prowess, actually, isn't it?
It has, because the cabochon's got to be quite domed for the star to be prominent as it is. So you actually have quite a prominent ring, which I think is beautiful. I think it's got real presence to it, and I really love that. And I think this is sort of ring that you could just pop on, very sort of a simple piece of jewellery, but it's going to make a real impact.
I'm just trying to all I want to do is just quickly. Oh, now all the lights went off there. Just want to quickly just confirm the size and dimensions of the stone quickly, if we can, on that one, or the size of the mount, just in case you have other stones that are that size. So have you got is it a 14 by 10 oval mount it is? So if you have other 14 by 10 stones, then that will work for you. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen this shape before in garnet. Sorry, let me show you. That's what I'm here to do. Thought I'd have a good look myself first. Look at that. They're little, we're calling them buttons. Yes, perfect description. Little buttons of garnet. I like that. That's unusual, isn't it? It's nice to use a different shape of stone every now and again, isn't it?
It is, and it's really nice that if you're using this against a backing fabric or you're to sew around a cabochon, you've got that flat back to them as well. or use them in bracelets and things like that. They're going to sit beautifully against the skin.
Yeah, and if you want to, because they sit so beautifully and next to each other, simple ring.
Definitely.
That would work really, really nicely. 40 carats all told. Gorgeous garnet, comes all the way from India. And actually, Indian garnet can sometimes be very, very heavily included. This is really, really nice. It's nice. I'm just holding that up for the sake of looking at its clarity. It's got a really good clarity to it. Not known for clarity, actually, to be honest with you, garnet necessarily. It's about body of colour with this gemstone, but that kind of has it all going for it. I like. Right, where's it going? Where's it going? Last opportunity in the hour to buy, because it's Moroccan Spice. Have to sprinkle every time you say that. $9.95. Moroccan Spice is the name of the second kit, by the way, in case you're thinking, hello, that strange man again, what's he talking about? $9.95. Blimey, that's good. That's really good, isn't it? Actually, 3 of those on a drop, on a simple piece of chain for an earring, times 2, and you've only used 6 of the pieces, you've returned on that strand straight away, haven't you? Definitely,
and these work really nicely if you want to channel set them in between 2 pieces of wire, do the wire wrapping, the channel setting.
Yes.
They work beautifully for that because you've got that flat surface again, so again they sit very nicely. If you're making a pendant, it sits very flat against the decolletage.
They're fabulous, like little garnet biscuits. Gorgeous. Really nice shapes to work with, actually, because as Sarah says, they're absolutely flat. So if you're setting them together, now I'm thinking, because they are flat, you could incorporate them into a seed bead project as well, couldn't you? Oh, definitely, very easy. Because they would really nicely behave in the middle of some seed bead work. That's it. So, I mean, you can do things like the heart-shaped pendant I've made there. You could actually replace the hearts with those. Yes. And have a much daintier pendant, and then go out and do a second circuit round to be able to create sort of a little almost garnet donut shaped pendant. Yes, here's the pendant that Sarah's talking about. Now, she's made it from Swarovskis that come in the kit. But you could replace those Swarovskis, or, you could have a round of these first and then carry on with the Swarovskis later, because the Swarovskis are lovely colours. Really nice. How much? $9.95 those? Hubba. I like that strand. It's really, really nice, isn't it? It's lovely. Can you believe that we are 3 hours into the show already? How? I don't know. How? That's bizarre, isn't it? Anyway, are you ready for Moroccan Spice? I'm really, really ready. Okay, well, come back and see us in 3 minutes' time then, and we will sprinkle some of the magic of Moroccan Spice next.
Owning a strand of genuine gemstones is always exciting, but being able to use it in your handcrafted jewellery, then passing it on to its new owner with proof of its authenticity is even more incredible. Why not add one of our printed authenticity cards to your order and share that same feeling with your customers? You can also access online authenticity certificates for items you have previously ordered by looking at your order history on your account details. The certificate gives you valuable information about your purchase and is your guarantee of quality and peace of mind from Jewellery Maker.
You can watch us every day 8 AM till 10 PM on Sky, Virgin and Freesat, and every day from 8 AM till 1 PM on Freeview.
It couldn't be easier to buy from Jewellery Maker with all the information you need right there on screen, from the item code and the product description right down to the price. And whether you're buying at the beginning or at the end of the offer, everyone pays the final on-screen price. So what are you waiting for? Simply telephone our free phone number or join us at JewelleryMaker.com and start your jewellery making journey today. Jewellery Maker, your one-stop shop for all your jewellery making needs.
The Jewellery Maker Wall of Fame is where you get to showcase your skills as a jewellery designer. Each week, one lucky entrant will win £100 credited to their account, and the runner-up receives £50. If you want to enter your design, just send a photo to studio@jewellerymaker.com, or you can post your photos to Jewellery Maker, Ivy House, Henley Road, Outhill, Studley, B807DU. Get making and good luck.
Welcome to Jewellery Maker. We are part of the Immediate Media family. Immediate Media is a fast-growing multimedia platform company who operates some of the most loved brands across the UK. Our brands range from our other shopping TV channel, The Sewing Quarter, to our very successful magazines, such as Simply Knitting, Molly Makes, and The Radio Times. We work incredibly hard to inspire you and bring you lots of exciting ideas and projects. So whatever your creative needs, you know that our crafting family will be there for you. Jewellery Maker. Create, wear, share.
Oh, gosh, we are so dynamic. We are going to do something a bit unusual now. I'm going to take a walk, but only halfway for now. I'll go all the way in just a moment to do the first kit, second kit. See how it feels like it should be the first kit. It doesn't feel that we're long enough into the show that it could be time for the second kit. But I want to show you this deluxe stamping kit first, because we are going to, as soon as we've seen the kit and Sarah's fabulous demo with the second kit, I'm going to come back and show you the deluxe stamping kit. This is amazing. I mean, just the brass round head hammer for this, you will want this kit alone for. Comes with the steel block for your stamping. It comes with a big sheet of copper for you to stamp onto. It comes with some pre-shapes, some little tags, some stars that are drilled, some squares, some hearts as well. It comes with a needle file set. It comes with a trimmer to be able to trim those sheets of copper. It comes with hole punches. It comes with the brush there as well, which is a wirework brush. It also comes with the complete alphabet in stamps, which is amazing in this big carry case. It also comes with a full set of numbers as well. You notice there's no number 6 because you use the 9 and turn it upside down. And that complete kit, in fact, we could put it on pre-order right now, actually, couldn't we? We could put it on pre-order, couldn't we? Because if you want that, we have less than 20 of them available. They've sold so many. Let me give you the code. It is, on one of these sheets, WZGX38. WZGX38. And it will go to £59.95, as it always does. It's just superb, and that to me looks like a heck of a lot more than £59.95's worth of kit. In fact, I have to say, Sarah, I'll come all the way now. I have to say, just for that brass head round hammer, specialist stores with a brass head, I would expect probably half of that £59.99 to be in that hammer alone.
Definitely. And when I first started doing metal stamping, before Jewellery Maker had the products in-house, I started looking at trying to get specialised products, and I found it very difficult in the UK to actually find suppliers. So I had to look to suppliers from the United States, and of course then you've got all the shipping and handling, plus the prices were...
The weight.
Yeah, you've got the weight, then you've got customs, you could think about that coming through, and for each item it just started adding up, and I thought, actually, you know what, it made it so that stamping was out of my range to actually get the base tools.
And that hammer is super weighty, and we send it for the same postage. We don't charge extra postage for that. It goes in with your day's postage at £2.95. So anyway, we're coming back to that in a wee while, but it's available to pre-order right now if you want to, which is superb, because getting into stamping, brilliant for personalisation and just, you know, to have the ability, it makes you a completely different service in itself. Right, time for Moroccan Spice now, our second kit of the evening. This is a real Bobby Dazzler. I'm so glad we've got to this, because this for me is the highlight of tonight, basically because, as the name suggests, Moroccan Spice is all about colour. So let's start off by looking at the pieces that, that Sarah has made with this kit, because they are extraordinary. So this kit is a fusion, if you like, of seed beads and gorgeous Swarovski crystals. It's amazing. I just love it. And you've got so many different elements to work with in this kit. It's one of those kits that you can take inspiration from Sarah's creations here. Of course, we'll get hints and tips and methods from Sarah in a second, but this is also about having a kit that you can really get your teeth into. you can really get your teeth into, which is brilliant. Right, now I am going to go through the ingredients for you completely and utterly. Shall we start with the beads or shall we start with the Swarovskis, Mike? It's up to you. Right, let's start with the beads then, shall we? Let's start with the seed beads. It's the Miyuki Delica Metallic Light Bronze 11Os. Bronze Iris 11Os, in fact they're all 11Os, the Silver Lined Orange and the Silver Lined Violet, all coming in 11Os. They're all 7.2 gram pots, which is brilliant. Tubes, should I say. And let's look at the Swarovskis that we have now, because they are pretty nice as well. You've got 24 4mm bicones of Astral Pink. You've got 24 6mm round bicones in Astral Pink, and you've got 6 heliotrope heart pendants, 10.3 by 10mm, which are those beautiful, amazing, sort of beyond. They're sort of like amethyst with aurora borealis, aren't they? Sort of together.
They are. They're really like an amethyst, but they're sort of almost deeper. Yeah. Almost like an iolite sort of colour, going towards that, but beautiful. And
the orange are almost slightly two-tone. They're almost a little bit of peach and rhubarb together, ever so slightly. Essences of both through them. They're really lovely. Okay, now let me tell you the combined price of all of the elements that we've got in this kit. Let's show you that price tag first, shall we? No. Oh, sorry. I was going to give you the price of the combined. Oh, okay. We can't. Okay, so it should be $49.95 for all of the elements individually, but we're going to take it straight under £30, just Shazam, like that, which sounds pretty good. So again, this is another candidate for my first seed bead kit, because with these being 11Os, because even these are the shorter tubes, there's a lot packed into those.
You know, there's an awful lot. Yeah. I mean, I when I finished making this kit, and unfortunately I didn't have as much time as I would have loved with these two kits, because having been away, I got back and had to sort of get making. Yeah. But it's hard to tell in these tubes, but I was holding them up to the light, and I've used less than probably a third of each of the tubes. Yeah. And these are the ones that I've made a whole neckline piece out of as well. And I've used less than a third of each of these tubes. So I've made the neckline piece for the pendant. I've braided them, the neckline, out of all the seed beads. And they just didn't seem to go away. So they're amazing.
They are great. And those Swarovski hearts as well, a little bit unusual and a different shape. You know, we've had bicones in many kits, as you know, and it's nice to have to keep those bicones, but in different colours, but also to have the hearts as well, just to give you a little bit of variety. I tell you what, I absolutely adore in the pieces that you've made, and I'll just take the opportunity to just grab that and just try it on to show you, because it is deliciously beautiful, and it is. In its simplicity is its elegance, actually, I think. Look at that.
That's it.
That's beautiful.
And it's the bicones and the delicas that allow you to do that. Yeah. Because the delicas sit so beautifully in a straight line, because they're almost like, to me, I imagine if you had a drinking straw that you cut, you've got those perfect sharp edges, but then you've got the round cylindrical centre. And when you've got those perfect sharp edges, they actually sit and tessellate beautifully, as you can see in the pendant that I made. You've got a perfectly flat pendant with no gaps in between when you make them. Yeah. So the triangular pendant, you've got no gaps in that design because of those sharp edges that you've got. And again, with this, you sort of almost end up with that perfect circle going around with no gaps.
That's beautiful.
With an 11O, you've got a rounded side.
Yeah.
With the Delica, you end up with that flat side.
Well, listen, lots of people might be in the same position as me, and I say this on every seed bead kit that I do, because I think so many people they're on the edge, they're there, they're looking over and saying, am I brave enough to try seed beading for the first time? The price on this kit is amazing. The combination of the prices of all the elements together, by the way, comes out at around about £50. So we've got this coming in under £30. You've got 4 different types of seed beads, or 4 different, 4 different colours of seed beads. You've got the bronze iris, the light bronze, the silver lined orange, and the silver lined violet, all in the Miyuki Delica as well. All 11Os, all 7.2 gram tubes, and there's so many, so many people, so many Oh, right, okay. Can I just ask you to add this to your order right now, because you know what's happening? Sarah hasn't even got started yet. And guys just trigger happy with the old buttons tonight, with the old, right, that's it, we can take it down, so we will take it down. I'm happy with that. Okay, ready? Ready? Oh yeah, oh no, we don't say that here, Guy. You can keep that phrase for your other channel. Do you know what he was nearly going to get me to say then? I'm not saying it. Honestly. Take those ways at... Wash his mouth out, Mike. We don't say things like that here at JM. Good Lord. Dirty words. $24.95 is ridiculous. Now, we're only doing that because well, Guy's covering producing tonight like a supply teacher. So it's much more fun with a supply teacher, as you know, which is great. And you get away with things that you would never get away with anywhere else, which is just fantastic. And that's why Linda and Anne, hello Anne in lovely John O'Groats. Patricia in Staffordshire, you're with us as well. Another Patricia in Bristol, well done. Kaza in the West Midlands, good to see your name pop up as well. Esther in Surrey, Sharon in Essex, Diane who's in the East Riding of Yorkshire. It always sounds so glamorous, that, doesn't it?
It does.
East Riding of Yorkshire. Susan in Staffordshire, well done. Michelle in the Highlands, congratulations you. And now it's gone down to $24.95. Many more people will be adding this to their order as well. Mm-hmm. So, my lovely, because I am definitely on the precipice of, you know, first kit, a little bit trepidatious, a little bit, okay, what shall I do first time around? So you're going to take us really back to basics here, aren't you? I
am. So we're going to talk through, well, we're going to demonstrate how to make the pendant, the triangular pendant, and this uses a technique called brick stitch.
It's this one here, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. And it's the top triangular part of that pendant that we're going to look at doing.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
And because the delicas are so small, I've decided that I'm going to do it with bigger beads for you to be able to see.
Yes, yes.
Because
so you'll have 11 O's and you're going to be working here with...
6 O's.
Yeah, just because they're much easier to see on TV.
Much easier to see on TV. Now with brick stitch, the great thing is you can use lots of tools to aid you to creating your designs. So this is one of them, and all this is a chart that you can find by doing one of those internet searches.
Yeah.
And if you just type in brick stitch graph paper, you will get a piece of paper like this. Now this is so small that I decided I wasn't going to show you how to create a pattern on that.
Looks like mini honeycomb almost, doesn't it?
So here's one I blew up.
Aha! Yes, enlarged.
Enlarged, yes. And if you need to do that, you can just use an image manipulation program and it allows you just to make that bigger.
Fantastic.
And I believe they've taken a photo of this, so this should be on Facebook for you to be able to see this pattern.
And what do they call it? What do we search for?
Brick stitch.
Brick stitch.
Graph paper.
Right. Brick as in brick in the wall.
Brick as brick in the wall.
Right, perfect.
And so you can see that you can just quickly create a design. And I'm going to show you how to do the decreasing brick stitch, which allows you to do diamonds and triangles. So I'll show you how to do that today.
Fantastic.
Okay, so the pattern's on standby because I have to remember how to do it as well. So I'll keep the pattern there, but it will be on Facebook and you literally just follow it row by row. So it's very, very simple. So the way we need to start a brick stitch is to create a base row. Now you can't just go straight into brick stitch, you have to create a base row of what's called ladder stitch or ladder stitch, yeah. And what you do to create that is you need a piece of your file line and a size of beading needle. We'll go through the beads that you're using. Now I would suggest using a size 12 beading needle if you've got it, because of course the delicas are smaller than the ones I'm using. But if you haven't got one, a size 10 will work. It's absolutely not a problem. We're not going to go through the beads lots and lots and lots of times, so it will help you. So to start off with, we need to create a row of beads. And I'm just going to bring my pattern back in just so you can see which row we're going to be doing. And I'm just going to cover everything else up so you can see that we're going to be creating that bottom row there.
Okay, yeah.
So I need to add my beads in the right order. So for this instance, on the pattern, I'm going to be using, whether it's orange, I'm going to be using pink, And where it's purple, I'm going to be using green, and where it's brown, I'm going to be using a pearl colour.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter, you can redraw these with all your colours if you want to, or like I do, I just change the colours as I go along. It really doesn't bother me as long.
Or as you've got them, you've got yours set out on the beading mat. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So you know you could mark them in some ways in numbers if you wanted to. If that's easier for you, we all visualise in different ways, don't we?
That's it. So I always lay mine out, so I work in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's whatever's easiest for you. Some people find it easier to just put numbers, as if you were following a cross-stitch pattern where you might have numbers of threads in each box, or even a code for each colour. So you might put a triangle for one colour and a circle for another. However works for you. Okay, so I'm going to start adding my beads. So the first 2 beads is a pink and a green. So I'm going to pick up 1 pink and 1 green on my needle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my needle through. I'm going to leave a sizable tail, probably 6 inches of thread, and then I'm going to go back up in the opposite direction through the first bead I've added. So my thread's running from left to right. I'm going to come back in at the left-hand side of that and pull that through. And can you see that the beads are sort of sitting on top of each other?
Oh, yeah.
So there you go, they're sitting on top of each other with the holes running to the side. So now I've got my pink, my green. I'm going to go back through the green bead coming back down. So I'm coming out the top of the pink, and I'm going to go back down the green. And then I'm going to reinforce this by going back up the pink and back down the green. So you're always going around in little circles just to reinforce it until you're coming out of the bead that is the last, sort of the second bead in your sequence. So I've got my pink, my green, and then I'm going to add the next bead in my pattern is a pearl bead. So I've picked up the pearl, and then my thread's coming out of the bottom of the green bead, so I'm going to take the thread back into the top of the green bead. And then that will make the next bead sit flat next to it. So can you see I'm creating a row of beads where the holes are exposed at the top, and I've got these thread bridges running between. So to tighten each row up, you go through a couple of times. And this will tighten all of this up and make it stand in a nice straight line, like that. Okay? So, so you would create your base row of 13 beads by doing just that. I'm going to show you all of that because we'll be there a while.
It could be such a long evening.
We'll be there a while.
And we're only here till 10.
Okay, so this is the set of beads that you're going to have. And you can see that they're all sat there. And can you see the thread bridges running across the top? That's those little pieces of thread that run between each of the holes of the beads. So what we're going to do is we're going to utilise these now, and we're going to change now to our brick stitch.
Okay.
Now I find this is the only stitch I do this. I normally would work from the right hand side to the left hand side because I'm right handed, but with this stitch it's the only one that I work the opposite way around. So I work from left to right as if I'm working on a typewriter. And it's the only one I do it with, and I don't know why. I just think it makes it easier because I'm reading a sort of plan that my brain's going to work
left
that way,
right,
same as if you were reading words. Okay, so on the top I've got my thread bridges running across the top here, and these are what I'm going to utilise to stitch into now. And if you've ever done brick stitch before, you sometimes work around a base such as a base gemstone or things like that, and you create a thread bridge around it, and that's what you sew into. So I'm going to use those. So my next row is a pink and a green for my first 2 beads. I'm going to start to bring this into a triangle and narrow the number of beads. So I'm going to pick up a pink and a green on my needle, and you always start your first part of a row of brick stitch with 2 beads on your needle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and hold this so you can see it. I'm going to miss the first thread bridge. If I put my needle under there, and if you can see that, there we go. So that's my first thread bridge. I'm going to miss that one because I want to bring my beads in a little bit, and I'm going to go under the second thread bridge. So that's the bridge that's running between bead 2 and 3. And I'm going to take that through, and I'm going to work the needle from away from me towards me and pull that through. So now I've got those 2 beads sitting there. What I now need to do is go back up through the green. So I've got the bridge that's holding my thread underneath and it's coming towards me. I'm going to pick up and go through the green, like so, and pull that tight. And you can see that this bead here is now flapping a bit, the pink one. It's not been attached yet. So to attach that bead and make it behave, go back through the pink and then up through the green that we've just added. And I'll show you this one. I'll get my fingers out of the way for you. So I'm just going to pull all of that nice and tight. Can you see that that's now sitting slightly off centre to that one? Okay. And now I'm going to pick up the next bead, which is the pearl bead, and I'm going to go through the next thread bridge, and I've gone through the thread bridge from behind towards me, and then I'm going to go back through the pearl bead, and that will sit nicely on top, there on top of there. Okay. And then
stunning, isn't it?
The next bead in my row is a green, and I'm going to go through that thread bridge and then back up through the bead, like so. And you carry on all the way until you get to the end of the row.
So you gradually less and less in each row
That's
as you're going upwards.
So you would carry on doing that, and you just keep following your pattern, and when you get to the end of each row you'll be coming out through a bead facing the top. So there we go. Can you see that I've created that section there? So that's I've carried on just doing each row as the pattern, starting each row the same. So I'm going to just start this row again because I've got 2 more rows to put in.
Okay.
And if I bring the pattern up, you'll see exactly where we are. There you go. So you can see exactly that I'm just following the pattern, and I've got just done the last row that had 4 beads in. So I've got a row with 3 and a row with 2 to finish off.
There's the other great thing about seed beading. If you're planning it out like this, the reality just looks 1,000 times better than any drawing you did at the beginning.
I know, that's it. I mean, you know, you
very gratifying,
put your patterns in and you think, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah,
but then when you make it,
yeah,
it looks completely different, especially when you change your colours. And
yeah.
So the last, got to the end of my row, and I'm going to pop it here so you can see exactly where you would finish off any row that you're doing. When you put the last bead on, the thread's going to be finishing off, coming out of that bead. I would then turn it, so I'm starting off again at the left-hand side of my piece of work. And so my next row has got 3 beads in it, which is a pink, green, and then a pink. But again, we're going to start each row with 2 beads. We're going to miss the first thread bridge, and you need to make sure you come underneath your thread when you're pulling that through there. And then we're going to create that circuit going through the green, the pink, and then back up through the green. Make sure you keep your tension with your work. And then again, I need to add the next one, which is the pink, but I am only adding a single bead because it's only the first beads in the row that you add 2.
Yeah.
And then I'm going back and through the thread bridge, back up, and so that gets you to there. And again, I need to turn the row, and this time I've only got 2 beads to add on because it's the last row, and that's 2 pinks. Miss the first thread bridge, back up through the second, just pull this thread, and then up through the second bead, create the circuit through the first bead and then the second. Okay, so there we go. So you get up with a triangle like that. Then you need to be able to add a bail. So the simplest way to add a bail is because we're coming out of a pair of beads, we can add an even number of beads to create a little bail at the top.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a very tiny little loop of beads on there that you can see. There we go, that's got a jump ring through there. So all I did to add that was add 6 of my outermost colour of beads, in this case pink. In the pendants version it was green. Orange.
Orange.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that back through that first bead on the top, but what I'm also going to do is I'm going to run my beading needle all the way down, if I can do it, the outside beads. I can't do it all in one go, so I'm going to go down.
That was heroic.
I know.
All but 3.
The needle wasn't quite long enough.
And these are the 6-Os that you're using. Sarah's just using these for demonstration, by the way. These aren't the actual beads. She's just using these for the demonstration, just to show you.
So I've created my pendant and the bail.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So there we go. And I've got my thread coming back down the bottom here. Now, if I wanted to make this into a diamond, I would turn this over and do the pattern the same, but in the opposite direction. But in the instance of the pendant, we created a fringe of beads.
Yes.
So if I just try and hold this to Leah,
yeah,
you can see that at the bottom we've got all of those beads that have got a channel that we can work into, because we've got the holes running from the outside, as opposed to normally when we seed bead we have the beads running in a row and the holes are sort of hidden. So what we can do now is we can, because I've got my thread coming out of this end bead here, I can just quickly create a fringe. So I'll just show you how that's done.
You're so right, Nikki, as well. She's saying you can make this into a handbag charm.
You can.
Make the pendant into a handbag charm, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because then you can completely, match it up to the handbag. Although I've heard a rumour, Nikki, I mean, slap me now if you like, that, handbags do change rather often. I mean, it's just a vicious rumour I've heard. I don't know how true it is, but you might need to stick it to just gold, maybe, just to, hedge your bets, no matter what the handbag that comes along.
Well, I don't change my handbag very often, but some people do.
Yeah.
So to create the fringing, because we're coming out of the bead, all I've done is add a pattern of beads.
Yes.
And you need to do this in increasing numbers to the centre point, which in this case is that middle pink bead, and then decrease from there on out.
Yeah.
So I've done 3, 2 and 3 of the beads, and then I've just created a little section of 3 beads, and I'm going to skip those and come back up the first set of beads I just added and the bottom bead of my original triangle.
Okay.
And pull that through, and they will sit and create a little diamond there for you. So I've added the Swarovski in that pendant, and then a little triangle of beads at the bottom.
I see. Right. Okay. Let's have a look on the finished piece with the beads from the kit. So you've added. So they're between the bicone and the bottom of the little strands there.
That's it. So that's created. I created the stopper by adding 3 of the delicas at the bottom underneath the Swarovski.
Yeah.
And then you go back through the Swarovski and all the beads you've added. And then to create the second row, all you do is jump from the pink bead to the green bead. So I'm coming up through the pink and I'm going to go back down through the green. So I've come up through the pink one and I'm coming back down through the green bead to pull that down to be able to create the next row of the tassel.
You, lady, are a wonder.
And
you are a Wonder Woman. And listen, of course, if you are getting this kit at $24.95, which remember, could be $49.95, could be $29.95, but we managed to squeeze every single penny out tonight and get it down to just... Nikki says, what do you mean, Derek? Have you been talking to my husband? No, I'm sure the husband doesn't know about half of them. Don't they just go into the dark recesses of the wardrobe somewhere, the wardrobe that he's not allowed anywhere near?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where the shoes are, isn't it?
See, I'm quite lucky. My husband quite often will buy me a handbag for as a gift. So that's quite
Oh,
nice.
that's why you've got him well trained, haven't you?
Well, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, okay. Coming up a little bit later on. Oh yes, it's a little tusk of black onyx coming your way a little bit later on. This would make a very, very cool beach necklace. Actually, I'm thinking, you know, even for a gent with a slightly hairy chest, like like me. I mean, you know, I might not be tall enough for a tusk pendant, but who knows? Do you want to take a little walk with me for a second?
Okay.
So that's a leading question, Your Honour, isn't it, Sarah? But it's only over here, it's okay. To have a look at the stamping kit, because I mean, this is an excellent opportunity. Let's just move those busts over there so you're not hiding behind them for a quick second. We've got the stamping kit here. It is exclusive to us here at JM, and we are describing it as our deluxe kit because I mean, the very little I know about stamping, and of course this lady knows an awful lot more than I do, but what I've learned over the last sort of few weeks being here is that this is your one-stop stamping shop. Everything you need to be able to personalise every letter in the alphabet, every number, everything you will need for personalisation is here, and every tool that you will need to make those pieces is in this kit, isn't it?
That's it. So for me, if you're a beginner, this is great. But if you're, you know, then looking to move on, the kit's got elements that are going to take you to that next stage of metalworking and stamping.
This hammer, I mean, I don't know how much it weighs. I'm going to guess it's somewhere in the region of 5+ pounds, I think, in weight. It really is. I mean, it's so substantial, and it has a brass head. Is there any significance, do you think, to the brass head?
It's the weight, because you need a good weight when you're stamping to get a clear impression.
Yes.
And what you don't want to do is be hitting the stamp more than once. So
yes, which I learned because I did a little demonstration with, forgive me, I forget who, and I think it might have been, it was Naughty Laura Binding actually, and I did a letter stamp, and I wasn't quite, because it was the first time I'd done it, and I wasn't quite brave enough, and you really do have to kind of go for it, being careful of yourself earlier. In fact, actually, I would probably do the first one wearing some oven gloves or something like that, or something to protect your hand.
I think you know, as long as you're confident with the first strike on the stamp, and you know, you make sure you've got your fingers out of the way of the top of the stamp, stamping punch.
Yeah.
You make sure that you keep your fingers out away from the plane where you're going to strike. You'll be absolutely fine.
They are quite substantial, I have to say. I mean, I'm not actually going to do any stamping, but if you have a look, they've actually got quite a good length to them. So if you're holding them, obviously the letter is on the bottom there. If you're holding them to them, I'm not going to hit this, by the way, but if you're holding it, you can hold it pretty firmly. In fact, actually, the lower down you hold it, probably the more precise the letter will be anyway.
That's it, because you're not going to allow any
movement at all. And then you give it a really good. I'm not going to do it now because obviously I'm doing it onto the steel plate, and you need to stamp onto something. Now, in terms of the stamping onto something, you get a copper sheet. You know how much copper is to buy these days, don't you? In the kit comes with this sheet of copper ready for you to start stamping. But as you can see there on the bottom left of that graphic there, it comes with lots of pre-cut shapes as well. So you're getting 5 fabulous brushed copper hearts. You're getting 5 squares, which I think, yes, they are drilled at the top. So if you want to make little tags out of them, pet tags or whatever it may be, then you can do that, and you can stamp onto those with the brush finish. You've got stars in the same texture, and you have little, almost like identity tag shapes in that same brushed copper finish as well, which is great. You also have, and I guess these have to be as tough as old boots, because for cutting through metal sheet, you've got a special pair of cutters. Do they have a special name or something?
Just snips.
Snips, right. Yes. But they are really substantial, and they're ergonomic as well, because these are all sort of, they almost feel like they're enamelled, but it's a real nice grip. And rather than you having to really force and push them together, these are ergonomically designed. So I'll try and show you that way. Unfortunately, I'm left-handed. I know this is in my right hand, but I am left-handed. so you've got that real grip when you're bringing them in, so it's nice and comfortable. So it's almost like you are crushing something in your hand, as opposed to, you know, that other action with pliers, which can be really tough. I really want to cut through that copper sheet, but that will mean that we'll have one kit left, and we only have something like 12 left. Is that something like that, Guy? Oh, sorry, right. We had 13 when we started tonight. We're now looking at the last 9 that we have. And I don't know, being honest with you, when this kit ever comes back. If it does come back, does it come back at anywhere near this kind of price tag? Does it have all of the elements? I haven't mentioned all of them, by the way. You do get a set of needle files as well, which are great for finishing.
They are. So once you've cut your copper sheet, the natural action of cutting copper, you will end up with some sharp burrs or some sharp edges. So you can use your needle files and that'll finish all of that off. You've got your brush there, which when you work with copper, you've got natural oils on your hands, and you naturally will put those onto the copper. Yeah. And you can brush that, and that will bring it back up to its original beautiful finish.
So it's quite soft, actually, that brush, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Is there a method?
It depends if you want to create a pattern on there as well. So you can actually go round and round, and that will create a circle and clean that for you. Or you can go in straight lines, or you can go up and down and do like hash sort of marks, you know, like a checkboard. Yeah, just touch that one, would you, Sarah? That's lovely. Just because just now one person has both of our fingerprints there, which could increase the value of that kit by, pence. That's a really thick sheet of copper as well. It is. You also have hole punches, don't you? I didn't know what this was. I thought there was a clamp the first time I saw it. It's actually for making punch holes in metal. So you've got 1.5mm gauge on one side and 2mm gauge on the other. And actually, I believe that the trick on this one is not really forcing it too far. It will... Once you've gone through, you'll feel there's a resistance. Yeah. Then you'll feel that you've gone through the sheet or the blank. You don't need to then carry on winding through so that it goes all the way to the bottom of the punch. You just then take it back in the opposite direction, but make sure you take it far enough that the sheet or the blank is released from the spiral or from the sort of screw track of the punch. Yeah. And then the blank will just fall out. Take the punch back down in the opposite direction, and that will take any of the waste out of the punch so it doesn't block. You'll actually end up with a little piece of copper that comes out of the bottom of the punch. I have to tell you that considering our daily postage charge is £2.95, you know, not even all of the kit, but just those, the letters, the numbers, the hammer and the block there. If I took this to a post office counter in a box and said, you know, I want to see how far would £2.95 get me, they'd say, no, sorry. No, that's it. They'd charge you more than that to put it on the scale. Do you know what I mean? That would be a lot to send. And with us, it's just your regular postage, £2.95, where you may have already ordered 30 strands, 3 kits during the day, and then you add this to your order, and still we send the parcel, which would, I mean, the poor old postman will... Hang on, I'm coming, hang on, I've got it, hang on. Still £2.95. It's ridiculous. I just said that my first set of punches, I only bought letter punches, was £45, not delivered. Just the punches? Just the punches. The first set that I ever bought. Holy moly. They do last. I mean, you know, there's not something that, you know, is going to sort of have a, you know, a shelf life, but for me, to invest in that was a lot, but to get the whole lot, that price is just amazing. Well, you think of the businesses that do engraving. I mean, the cost of the raw materials is a cost. Do you know what I mean? It's fantastic. Thank you, lovely Sarah. I'm going to go. We'll take our respective seats now, shall we? Thank you, lovely. I've got I've got a pile up of cups going on up here. That's so much coffee I have drunk through this evening. It's 20 to the end, Sarah. Well, not the end, you know, per se. Just the end of our show, that's all. Can't believe that's gone so quickly, can you? Right, which number? 11? 11. Ooh. Now, we had lapis in your first kit, Sarah, tonight. Sorry, I just caught my arm on something there. I didn't know what it was. Just making sure it's not an animal. It usually is in here. Apparently the hornets have been evacuated now. They're all gone. They've been sent to they've been sent on their way.
Lapis lazuli, seed beads. I mean, it just couldn't be better if we planned it. Lapis lazuli seed beads, which would look fantastic actually with the mix of the seed beads in Moroccan Spice. Our second kit. What did I do with that little pendant? Did I leave it over there? I left it over there, didn't I? I knew I did. Sorry, Sarah. Thank you, darling. I left that onyx pendant. Oh, I knew there was something I'd left over there. Right. Okay. I take it this is going to be a tiny, 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 eensy-weensy little price tag then, Guy. 2 mm. Yeah, of course it is. Brilliant. I mean, if you love having this stone around, it's great. Do you know what it reminds me of? It's because of the luster. I mean, you don't associate necessarily lapis lazuli with luster, to be honest with you. You associate it more with colour and the flashes of gold that come out from the pyrite. But that would be fantastic. It almost looks like the equivalent colour spinel, doesn't it? That's phenomenal. Actually, do you know what? From that reasonable distance, am I wrong? Have another look from a reasonable kind of distance for a second. It looks like the colour of, to me, looks less lapis lazuli and looks more 4A tanzanite beads. Do you know what I mean? Are you getting that as well? Good, isn't it? That's nice. Very nice. Pop it into your basket, take it away, run with it. We've got this lovely little tusk of black onyx coming up as a star buy in about 5 minutes time, by the way. And then in 15 minutes, that's it. I'm afraid that's it. Beach day done and dusted. Bit of a damp squib, the beach day, wasn't it? We didn't see a beach at all. Rubbish, eh? Never mind. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. And now, ooh, are these what I think they are? The Mistress of Disguise, a gemstone really you don't expect to see here. A gemstone that's made its way into noble collections, as you know. You've heard this story 1,000 times, haven't you? The Queen in one of her crowns has one of these gemstones. Thought it was a ruby, they did. Thought it was a ruby, it was that good. It's actually red spinel. 52 carats of gorgeous plain ovals here. Love it. Very, very nice indeed. What do you think? Are you looking forward to getting that kit, by the way, that second one? I think, Sarah, it could be. You know, I'm still, my first kit is still so far eluded me. I think Moroccan Spice. I have to say, every time I say Moroccan Spice now, I'm going to do that. I think that might be my first kit, you know. And I think I might follow that method with the drawing and everything else, because I'm not at all artistic in terms of drawing, but you just make everything sit, don't you? Or actually, you could freeform to some degree, couldn't you?
You can indeed, yes.
I think it might be the one. Look at this, red spinel, 52 carats. Actually, you can see why. You can see why people mistake it for some of the best ruby in the world. It does look a little bit Burmese ruby, doesn't it? It does look a little bit Tanzanian ruby. It does look a little bit Thai ruby as well. It's got an effervescence to it. It's got a depth of colour going to it. It is delicious. Oh, we're not staying at that price. Do you know what? I took that as a given that was okay. Guys had a squeeze until the pips squeak. 42.95. Have they not told you about that? It's cabin fever, you see. Too long in the gallery, that's what it is. Last 3 chances at 42.95. Congratulations, well done. That's amazing. That is amazing. When are you back, Sarah, by the way? Oh, sorry, she was taking a gulp of coffee there. What a stupid time to ask her a question. Forget I said that.
I'm back on Sunday.
Are you?
I am.
Ah, back at the weekend. Fantastic. Right, okay. So that is spinel. Oh, and now, hang on. Right, so I need a bit of that to go with it as well. That makes sense because we're going to start off with one of these. Of all the times to ask you a question, Mid-mouthful. Silly boy. No idea. Okay, so I wonder. Oh, actually, I might just model this just quickly, Mike and Leah. I do apologise in advance. You know, I was born this way. I think that. Yeah, actually, that would kind of that'd kind of work, wouldn't it? Maybe not with the Hawaiian garden. Maybe not with the slightly brighter than regular shirt, but you know, for a kind of beach surfer dude kind of look. That would work, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah, definitely.
I like actually because it's if this was spinel, it wouldn't work for a guy because onyx is slightly more muted. In fact, if you forgive me for a second, I might just give that a little. It's all right. I'll do it on my show. Just give it a little shuffle. You know what I mean? A little dust, a little buff. Just a moment. Wait a second. I'm doing it on my rather attractive beach shirt. There you go. She should never do really, but there you go. Needs must. That's better. So it's been electroplated. When you electroplate a gemstone, by the way, there's no gap. There is no gap whatsoever. So it's safer than creating a bezel for something. That's absolutely safe as houses. Because if there were any places in the gemstone where any valleys in the gemstone that could loosen a regular setting and make it vulnerable over time. The electroplating completely utterly forms itself around. No matter what that shape was, it would just be like a big cuddle for the gemstone. It would say, right, that's it, you're not going anywhere. It's a joy. That was a bit of a dramatic explanation, but you get my drift. You get my drift. That's why you can electroplate things like drusies and natural pieces of amethyst and can convert them to pendants by electroplating. Right, and of course the gemstone can take it because it's as tough as old boots. $6.95. That's good. I like that. I'm going to give you some chain to go with it in a second, or I'll show you some chain that would go with it perfectly. Well, I say would go with it. It's a silver toned chain, but hey, it could work. It could work. I actually think for a guy, you'd probably use a cord or a leather thong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, just a simple length of leather, and you'd make it into like a thong necklace. $6.95. No, not that. No, honestly, childish boys in the gallery. Honestly, some words you can't say. Mind you, I have to say, Sarah, you did get Leah and I giggling earlier, and luckily we covered it up, so nobody noticed, which was good. It was just something you said, and then. It's always seed beading as well. It's always seed. I'm not going to say what it was, but sometimes it's seed beading. You get hooked on one word, and whenever anyone says it, it makes you giggle. And Leah and I couldn't look at each other. I'll tell you the word at 10. In fact, after 10, I think. $6.95. No. It wasn't Leah's fault, Mike, at all. It was just our childish minds. That's all it was. Right. It's not big, it's not clever, but it was very funny. In fact, I nearly choked. And Sarah didn't know a thing about it. Did you know we were giggling? Oh, yes, she did know we were giggling. Well, you just carried on like the professional that you are. We've gone even lower. We have gone even lower at £5.95. That is ridiculous. It's a nice big 8-carat piece there for you as well. And now it's just $5.95. 0800 655 644 is your telephone number, or of course jewellerymaker.com or via the web. The other thing, the doodad, tablet, thingy, mobile phone app. That's it. There's an app for that on Google Play and on the iTunes Store. So grab it now. Now we thought a nice accompaniment. Well, we thought very tenuous link maybe. But Guy thought you might like some chain to go with that. But in the absence of some chain that does go with it, how about some of this? But you might have been waiting for something like this to pop up anyway. Silver-plated brass curb chain. It's a good thick curb actually. And of course, if you were buying this in sterling silver, well, get ready to pay a fortune. Because, you know, silver is very, very expensive. There's no other way to say it. You know, there are stores, and usually sometimes you find that when you're on holiday, you see there are stores where you can buy your silver chain by the doodah, and you always think, no, you're all right, thanks. I'd rather not. I don't know where your silver's been. Is there a gram weight on this overall? Got 5 meters of this to play with. Doesn't have a gram weight on it. Interesting. I would have put a gram weight on it. It's a metal. I realise it's a base metal which has been silver plated, but a metal is a metal is a metal, isn't it?
It is.
And it therefore has a weight. Anyway, I suppose it's all about the length, isn't it? I'm not about to uncurl all of this, but we're looking at 5 meters to play with here, which is superb. Mike has just informed me there is no human... Are you sure, before I say that, Mike? There is not a human alive, apparently, that is 5 meters tall. I can't hold that in my hand as a fact because it came from Mike. So it might need some verifying, which I think Guy is now doing, just in case. Mind you, 5 meters, what's that in feet? In feet and inches. Okay, the tallest man ever was 8 foot 2.8 inches. Oh yeah, okay, so we're doing a conversion. We're finding out what 5 meters is. Yeah, you can't be wrong on this one.
16 feet or something.
Right, 8 foot is 2.4 meters. So he would have had to have been about 17, 18 foot. Mike? Well, I mean, we don't know about Neanderthal man, do we? We don't know how tall he could have been, potentially. You know, we can't say that it will never be. They might make a discovery next week. Did you know, prehistoric man? We have to rewrite the history books. He was 16 foot tall. It's unlikely, I know, but you know what? So are a lot of things in this world that turned out to happen, weren't they? So never say never. Anyway, would anyone like 5 meters? Oh, blimey, that's too big a thought, isn't it, really? That was a bit too philosophical for 4 minutes to the end of the show. £12.95. Can I pick? Please. Can I pick box 8? Box 8. Love is like a butterfly. I love butterflies. Oh, I lost one tonight. But if you want more Sarah Elvin, she's back on Sunday. Which show are you on Sunday?
Late Show.
Oh, sorry, I did that again mid-mouthful. Well done. It's the second time I've done that in half an hour. She was mid-mouthful.
I keep trying to sneak this one.
Sunday Late Show.
Yes.
Do you know who you're with on Sunday?
I don't. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's on Sunday. I don't know. It might be Zena. It might be Ray. It could be anyone. Could be anyone. So yes, any idea, any hintage on what the kits might be?
I believe I've got a beautiful seed bead kit that's got all the colours to make sunflowers with.
Oh.
I believe.
Oh.
I haven't started making anything
Okay,
yet,
yeah,
so.
no, because Sarah is just back from her holiday at the moment, so she's playing catch up continually at the moment. During the show as well, bless her. Sunflowers. Is it sunflower growing time of the year at the moment? Are they little at the moment? Or are they still seeds just coming through at the moment? I suppose it's a bit early, isn't it, for sunflowers? But it's so difficult, isn't it, to grow them? Right, are you ready for a price tag then? Ooh, okay. Oh, these are seashell, are they? They're very clever. Sorry, I've been showing you most of these backwards. Let me show you them the right way around, where the hard work of someone has been employed to carve these fabulous butterflies. I've been showing you back to front. I do apologise. There you go. They're lovely. And you can utilise these little tubes that they're on as well. Oh, Sally says, she's got another one. Mermaid in the USSR. That's good. I like that one. Very good. Oh, she's got another one as well. You've been enjoying this, haven't you, tonight, Sally? Aha! Hake on me. Why does that sound naughty? It's just the name of a fish, doesn't it? That sounds far naughtier than it should. Thank you, Sally. You've kept us very, very amused all evening with those. Thank you, bless you. £7.95. They're all right, aren't they? I've got a big strand of tanzanite over there. Oh, I didn't get to it. Never mind, I might do that tomorrow. And all the and the must-have with Labradorite. We'll do those tomorrow evening. We'll get somebody to find them, and then we'll do them tomorrow evening at 8:30. Just give you the details again of Moroccan Spice. Our second kit this evening, XQGC23, which is those fantastic Miyuki Delicas, plus your Swarovski bicones and those beautiful hearts there as well. £24.95 against a price that could have been $49.95, which is phenomenal. So you will see this lady here, lovely Sara Elvin, back on Sunday night on the Late Show at 6 o'clock. Sunflowers. Think sunflowers, which will be fantastic.
I will,
lovely.
When I open the kits, I'll pop a little thing on my Facebook page, so
brilliant.
Find out what I've got.
Thank you for your inspiration and wise words tonight.
You're very welcome.
And I will see you back here tomorrow night with the nearly Elton John fan that is De Bruges. It's my final try tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And from both of us and the whole team, good night and God bless. Bye-bye.
It's very easy to get started because the materials you need to begin with are not that expensive. You